Chapter 2593. To protect my sister. If I can keep messing with Ian, he won't have time to investigate my sister, Lu Yen said nonchalantly. I knew it had something to do with Sister Mian. Xiao Fei already had a rough idea. My subordinates have been tracking her for a long time. That psycho Ian has been trying to catch me for years, but he hasn't been able to. Finally, he moved to Sea City. Even if Hua Xiqian doesn't say anything, I think with Ian's power, he'll expose my sister's identity. Then, she might end up like me, homeless and hunted forever. I don't want her to end up like that. Yen, you feel bad for your sister, but who's going to feel bad for you? Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yen with pity. Me? I don't need anyone to feel bad for me. I'm a strong woman. I was born to be a heaven-defying existence. The bombs I've developed are as good as my dad's. But do you know how dangerous it is for you to protect Sister Mian under Ian's nose? I know. I know. The worst-case scenario is getting caught. But even if I'm caught, I won't let him threaten my dad. Ian is an inhuman psychopath. He definitely wants my dad to help him develop some kind of biochemical weapon. I'm not going to let him do something so outrageous. That's why when I was being chased by Ian a few years ago, I thought that if I were to fall into his hands one day, then I'd rather commit suicide than let him threaten my dad with my life. Easy for you to say. Aren't you afraid of death? If I'm afraid of death, why would I be a mercenary? Over the years, I've gotten used to licking blood on knives and dancing on coffins. Xiao Fei, maybe this is my fate. I don't blame anyone. My life has been amazing. I've received the world's attention since I was born. I'm the daughter of the famous Professor Liu and Dr. Linya. Many medical researchers even said that they'd study my corpse after I died to see if there was any genetic mutation. Not everyone can have such a glorious life. When I was at West Point, I tasted all the pain in the world. The soldiers of West Point were warriors who fought their way out of hell. I've never been afraid of death. When I was 20 years old, I had hundreds of billions of yuan in assets. Even the richest man in a country couldn't live as carefree as I do. A meal of mine can cost hundreds of thousands of yuan, a piece of clothing can cost millions, and a gun I developed myself cost more than 50 million yuan. These numbers are more than ordinary people's lives. Yen, don't you have anything to worry about? Xiao Fei asked with a sad expression. He felt like he didn't care enough about Lu Yen. Xiao Fei, I told you before that I'm not the right person for you. I'm not suitable to be your wife. With your status, you can choose whoever you want. You don't have to run away with me. The world is big. I just want Lu Yen, Xiao Fei said. Why do you have to do this? Lu Yen lowered her head, feeling guilty toward Xiao Fei. Sister Mian has a husband and a daughter. Your father still has your mother to worry about. What about you? Lu Yan's words were on the tip of her tongue, but she suddenly felt miserable. Chapter 2594. Don't worry, you didn't have it before, but now, you have me. Xiao Fei, from now on, I'll continue to work for you and live off of you. You have to live well, or else I'll starve to death. Xiao Fei didn't do it on purpose because he didn't want to burden Lu Yen. But she knew what he was thinking. Xiao Fei, after Ian dies, I won't be a mercenary anymore, okay? Let's find a place to live in seclusion with my father, my sister, and the others. Our family will be happy every day, especially lively and lively. Okay, we'll have more kids. I saw that Mian gave birth to twins, maybe we'll have twins too. You wish. Lu Yen laughed. So, Yen, from now on, don't take yourself lightly. Your life doesn't belong to you alone. Okay. Lu Yen nodded heavily. After we get rid of Ian, let's go to the Roman church and get married. Lu Yen suddenly had an idea. So, you're proposing to me? Yeah, what do you think? Do you want to marry me? No diamond ring, no sincerity. Damn it. You eat and drink my food, and you want a diamond ring? Shameless. No, I won't marry you without a diamond ring. Xiao Fei shook his head resolutely. Diamond ring? Let me tell you, the diamonds in my Swiss bank's safe can hit your head. Okay, give me all the diamonds in the safe, and I'll consider it. Our friendship is over. Lu Yen turned around. Xiao Fei looked at her back and smiled gently. Lu Yen and Xiao Fei had been in Indonesia for 2 days. Other than traveling, Lu Yen couldn't sit still and would go to the black market whenever she had time. When she was itching for a fight, she would go on stage and fight in the black market. Sometimes, she would set up a stall to sell low-quality guns, having a lot of fun. Xiao Fei followed her closely, and the two of them ate and lived together. But nothing had happened. Ian didn't do anything either, which made them even more vigilant. They were afraid that Ian would make a fool out of them. That night, Lu Yen came back from the black market and asked for Russian-style beef. Xiao Fei put on his jacket and went downstairs to buy beef. When he came back, he was surrounded in an alley. Young master. There were 4 tall men in front and behind. Why are you here? Young master, come back with us. After you left, old master's temper has been very bad. Many things have been forcefully intervened by second young master. I think, the situation is very unfavorable for you. I have already left the Qiao family. From now on, I am no longer a member of the Qiao family. Whatever Qiao Nan does has nothing to do with me. I will not interfere. Young master, you're a dignified young master. Why are you being hunted down? Why do you have to go out to buy groceries and cook? Although old master is angry, he still misses you very much. If you go back, he will definitely be happy and forgive you. I don't need his forgiveness. Young master, you guys can leave. I won't go back. Xiao Fei had made up his mind. These people were Xiao Fei's subordinates. The leader was called Asino. Xiao Fei was a cold person. From the moment he decided to leave with Lu Yen, he had cut off all ties with the past. His men were all left in Moscow. After Xiao Fei finished speaking, he carried the beef and walked forward. Suddenly, a gunshot came from behind. Chapter 2595. Xiao Fei dodged instinctively and saw the 4 men shoot at the same time. He immediately dodged, but the 4 of them were determined to kill him. I knew you guys didn't come with good intentions. Xiao Fei glanced at them coldly. Young master, don't blame us. We're now second young master's men. Xiao Nan has wanted to kill me for a long time. It's not surprising. But, the 4 of you can't kill me. Xiao Fei was confident. What if I join in? At this moment, a man in a black windbreaker walked out from behind them with a creepy smile on his face. Xiao Fei was slightly surprised. Huh. I was wondering how these good-for-nothings could find me. It's you. Xiao Fei was too lazy to call Xiao Nan his second brother. This ambitious man had wanted Xiao Fei dead more than a dozen times since he was a child, whether intentionally or unintentionally. When he was 8 or 9 years old, he pretended to forget to turn off the water and locked the door before going out to play. At that time, Xiao Fei was taking a nap at home and was almost poisoned to death by the media. Fortunately, Xiao Fei's dog sensed something was wrong and barked loudly to wake him up. Only then did he escape. Over the years, the Xiao brothers had been fighting openly and secretly, and the old man knew about it. He wanted to support Xiao Fei and slowly take away Xiao Nan's power. But later, he found that Xiao Nan was very powerful and not easy to deal with. Last time, when Xiao Fei was shot 5 times, his father didn't blame him even though he knew it was Xiao Nan who did it. This was the rule of the king's family, survival of the fittest. The law of the jungle, the strong preyed on the weak. It was said that the most powerful Tibetan mastiffs were raised this way. After they were born, they were placed in a closed space. They were not given food and were allowed to kill each other. The last one was the winner and the ultimate king. It's hard to find you. I have to say, Lu Yen is really good at running away. This time, I have to thank Ian. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to find you so quickly. Ha! You're in cahoots with Ian. Dad will kill you if he finds out. Don't worry, Dad won't have the chance to know, because I won't give you the chance to see Dad again. Xiao Fei finally understood that Ian thought it would be more difficult to deal with him here, so he directly told Xiao Nan his whereabouts. Xiao Nan wanted to kill Xiao Fei with a borrowed knife. Xiao Nan wanted to kill Xiao Fei, so he did him a favor. My dear brother, what do you think? Do you have anything to say? Xiao Nan took out his pistol and aimed it at Xiao Fei's head. You can't kill me. Do you think that the old man will come and save you? Give up on that thought. Distant waters can't quench a present thirst. Besides, he doesn't know that you're in Indonesia. Even if he did, it's too late. Xiao Nan, it's been a while since we last met. You're getting more and more arrogant. You even dare to touch my people? A crisp voice rang out. They turned around and saw Lu Yen standing behind them. A sexy red dress fluttered in the wind in the air. TSK, TSK. I have to say, you're a pretty girl. When Xiao Fei dies, come with me. I won't mistreat you. Xiao Nan smiled. With you? Can you do it? I heard, you're the master of instant shooting. Lu Yen sneered. Xiao Nan's face immediately changed. Chapter 2596. Yen, you won't have any friends if you talk like that. You've never slept with me, how do you know I can shoot in seconds? Xiao Nan looked at Lu Yen with a perverted expression. Sleep with you? Look at your 3-inch sausage, I can't even see the curves in your pants. Don't you know? Huamin was sharp-tongued because he didn't know Lu Yen. If he had seen Lu Yen curse someone, he would know what it meant to be ruthless. Hearing this, Xiao Nan couldn't hold it in anymore. Damned girl. Don't play word games with me. Your man is still in my hands, why don't you beg me and see if I'll let him die in one piece if I'm in a good mood? Motherfucker, I've seen a lot of shameless people, but you're the most shameless of them all. They all say that there's no need to be so impatient to kill each other. I suspect that Uncle Xiao accidentally leaked your secret when he went to visit a prostitute back then. You're the bad one. How can you be so despicable? You even want to kill your own brother. Xiao Nan, I'm the one you want to kill. Let Yen go. Xiao Fei analyzed the situation and didn't think Lu Yen had a chance of winning. Xiao Nan had 2 masters and 4 traders with him, so there were 7 of them. Xiao Nan wasn't someone to be trifled with, and Xiao Fei had a gun pointed at his head, so the situation was very bad. He didn't want to drag Lu Yen into this. Bullshit. Do I look like a heartless person? Plus, I haven't had enough of you yet. If you don't freeload off of me, who's going to spend my money? Yen. Xiao Fei knew this girl was as stubborn as a donkey. She wouldn't leave just because he said a few words. Very well, since you two want to die together, I'll be the good guy today and grant you your wish. He was about to shoot Xiao Fei when, wait, Lu Yen suddenly yelled. What are you up to now? Xiao Nan looked at Lu Yen warily. Master, be careful. This Lu Yen is very cunning. Even Ian couldn't catch her, someone beside him reminded Xiao Nan. Xiao Nan didn't dare to underestimate Lu Yen. Lu Yen took out a silver desert eagle from behind her waist. It was very heavy and had a strong recoil. You're alone with a gun. Do you think you're a match for us? Xiao Nan laughed. Fuck, how embarrassing would it be to use a pistol to deal with you guys? Then, Lu Yan took out a small red object from her pocket. As soon as the item was taken out, everyone's expression changed. That's... Xiao Nan narrowed his eyes. He only finished half of his sentence. Today, I'll be generous and give you VIP treatment. Have you heard of Ghost Number 1? Hearing Lu Yan's words, Xiao Nan and his subordinates all took 3 steps back. They weren't unfamiliar with Ghost Number 1. A while ago, Lu Yan had blown up Ian's Indonesia branch with a super-powerful bomb. It even made the Indonesian government furious. What do you want? What do I want to do? You're asking bullshit. Of course, I'm sending you to the afterlife. Lu Yan chuckled. You're lying. If it's really Ghost Number 1, you'll die too. Do you think I'm afraid of death? Lu Yan looked at Xiao Nan in disdain. You wouldn't carry such a dangerous thing with you, Xiao Nan analyzed. Wrong. It's because it's dangerous that I carry it with me. I'm always ready to die with Ian. You guys came at the right time. I didn't see Ian, so it's not cheap to give it to you. Then, Lu Yan pretended to press the switch. No, no. I don't want to die yet. Master, let's go. Xiao Nan's subordinates were terrified and almost peed their pants. This seemingly insignificant little thing, once detonated, would cause mass destruction, not to mention the dozen of them. No matter how many miles around, everything would be reduced to ashes. What do you think? Are you going to let my man go, or are you going to hell with us? Lu Yan's smile was still as beautiful as a flower, making it hard to tell if she was lying or not. Chapter 2597. Master, let's let them go. We'll think about it in the future. Xiao Nan's subordinates were scared out of their wits. Xiao Nan didn't want to let go of such a good opportunity, so he looked at Lu Yan unwillingly. I don't believe you'll use Ghost 1. If you don't believe me, then try it. Why are you talking so much? Lu Yan didn't care. Master, Lu Yan is crazy. Even Ian can't do anything to her. We can't take the risk. Where there's life, there's hope. Xiao Nan's subordinates were afraid that Xiao Nan would continue to confront Lu Yan. If he angered this woman, he would die together with her. Are you really not afraid of death? Xiao Nan thought that there were many people who said they weren't afraid of death, but few really lived up to their words. There were even fewer people who dared to detonate such a powerful bomb. Lu Yan was only a brat in her 20s. How dare she? If they let them go this time, it would be even harder to catch Qiao Fei next time. Damn it, you're the second young master of the Qiao family. When your mother gave birth to you, did she lose the baby and raise the placenta? When I was 5, I traveled all over the world. When I was 8, I was separated from my father. I ran for my life while dealing with people who wanted to catch me. When I was a teenager, I snuck into the capital of the world, West Point Military Academy. After I graduated, I directly formed a mercenary group. In my dictionary, there's no such thing as fear of death. Because all these years, every day, every minute, every second, I've been fighting against the Grim Reaper. You're asking me if I'm afraid of death? You're a fucking idiot. Lu Yan cursed at Xiao Nan. This was something no one dared to do. In the Qiao family, no one dared to offend Xiao Fei and Xiao Mo. They would rather offend Xiao Nan because he was an extremely vicious person. Therefore, in the whole world, only Lu Yan would do something like this. Huh. You're the first person who dares to be so disrespectful to me. Lu Yan, you've got guts. Xiao Nan sneered. I even dared to curse Ian, let alone you. Don't be so shameless. My time is precious. Even if you want to die, you should hurry. After all, there's a limit to how much Meng Po's soup can I give you, okay? You have 5 seconds to let my man go or we'll all go to hell together. Then, Lu Yan held the small red machine in her hand and began counting down. 5, 4, 3, I'll let you go. In the end, Xiao Nan admitted defeat. So you admit defeat? You want to be the overlord of a region with your ugly face? What the fuck? Lu Yan looked down on Xiao Nan. A person who was afraid of death couldn't achieve great things. Lu Yan had always despised people who were afraid of death. Xiao Nan gritted his teeth. He hated Lu Yan to the core, but there was nothing he could do. After all, Lu Yan was the only one in the world who had Ghost One since she had invented it herself. It was said that after the research and development was successful, a terrorist organization offered billions of dollars to buy it. In the end, the lady only replied with 2 words, no. Xiao Nan wasn't sure how many Ghost Number 1's Lu Yan had, but he knew how powerful they were after witnessing Ian's Indonesia branch being bombed. Therefore, he absolutely did not dare to let his guard down. Let him go. Xiao Nan ordered, and his subordinates all retreated. Lu Yan strutted over and helped Xiao Fei up. Looking at their departing figures, Xiao Nan's heart was already extremely unbalanced. Lu Yan, I won't let you go, Xiao Nan thought angrily. Inside a cave in the slums of Indonesia, Lu Yan was changing the bandages on Xiao Fei's thigh because of a gunfight. Fuck, take off your pants, Lu Yan ordered impatiently. Chapter 2598. What do you want? Xiao Fei looked up and glanced at Lu Yan's face. What do I want? To do you. Lu Yan said in a huff. Xiao Fei, take it off, give me some time to prepare. I think, it's too sudden. Xiao Fei was shy, which was rare for him. He blushed. Although he had always wanted to sleep with Lu Yan, he didn't expect the moment to come so soon. It was a pleasant surprise. Seeing Xiao Fei's thoughts wander, Lu Yan punched him on the head. Damn it. You're thinking too much. I'm going to change your bandages, Xiao Fei was embarrassed. Take it off. Don't dawdle. My patience is limited. Finally, under Lu Yan's urging, Xiao Fei slowly pulled down his trousers. Underneath was a pair of black boxer briefs. Lu Yan squatted down with the first aid kit and rolled up a corner of his underwear. Sure enough, there were bullet marks on his thigh. Xiao Nan is a despicable man. I don't know if the bullets are poisoned. I have to scrape off the rotten flesh. In order not to affect your brain, I'm not going to give you anesthesia. It might hurt a lot. Bear with it. Okay. Xiao Fei nodded. Lu Yan pulled out her dagger and burned it with a candle. Then, she carefully scraped off the rotten flesh. Although it was just skin on the surface, it was still very painful. Although Xiao Fei was a tough guy, he didn't make a sound, but his forehead was covered with sweat. Almost done. Then, Lu Yan quickly treated the wound. She used iodophor to reduce the inflammation and sprinkled some white powder on it. This is a wound medicine I developed myself. In less than 3 days, you'll regrow your flesh and recover. Okay. Okay. It's done. Lu Yan was in a good mood. After treating the wound, she patted Xiao Fei's thigh with her small white hand. The thigh was a sensitive part of a man. Being patted by her, Xiao Fei actually had a reaction. Lu Yan was a bit confused when she saw the tent that suddenly appeared. Although this great aunt wasn't afraid of anything and knew everything from the heavens to the earth, when it came to matters between men and women, she only knew the theory and had never put it into practice. So, she didn't react immediately. He even touched it with his hand out of curiosity. What's going on here? Are there any external injuries? Yan, don't move. Xiao Fei stopped her in time. What's wrong? Lu Yan looked confused. I'm afraid. I won't be able to resist eating you. Xiao Fei blushed. Only then did Lu Yen realize what was going on, and she blushed furiously. Fuck. You're really shameless. How can you do this? Please. You were the one who touched me. I didn't do anything. Qiao Fei said innocently. Psycho Qiao, you took advantage of me. Lu Yen immediately covered her face with her hands. Alright, stop fooling around. Let me ask you. Was the thing you were holding in your hand really ghost number 1? Qiao Fei asked seriously. Hearing this, Lu Yen immediately put down her hand and smiled smugly. Take a guess. I guess not. Why? Lu Yen was curious. Because of ghost number 1, since a terrorist organization offered billions to buy it back then, the cost of production must be very high. I don't think you would make many of such expensive things, much less carry them with you. Smart. So, what was the thing you threatened Xiaonan with? Qiao Fei was curious. Chapter 2599. Are you talking about this? Lu Yen took out a tiny object from her pocket. Qiao Fei took a step back subconsciously, making Lu Yen giggle. Don't be scared. This isn't Ghost 1. So this is. It's just a tiny tracker. Lu Yen smiled. Tracker. Okay, you scared Xiaonan away with this thing. You're awesome. Qiao Fei gave her a thumbs up. Wrong. Xiaonan wasn't scared of Ghost 1. He was scared of my fearless determination. After all, those who have nothing to lose are not afraid of those who have nothing to lose. Anyways, it was too dangerous this time. We can't do it again, Qiao Fei said faintly. How dare you say that? I did it to save you. I don't care if I die, but you can't die. Qiao Fei was adamant. Bullshit. If you die, what's the point of me living? Lu Yen blurted out in anger. She didn't even think about it. It was only after he finished speaking that he realized what he had said. Listening to it carefully, it sounded like a naked confession. Qiao Fei was surprised and happy. So. Yen, you're willing to live and die with me, right? In your dreams. I'm just afraid that I'll be bored after you die, Lu Yen said stubbornly. But no matter what she said, she couldn't hide her feelings. Yen, it seems like my feelings for you weren't in vain. Qiao Fei looked at the beautiful girl in front of him lovingly. Stop talking nonsense. I'm so hungry. Let's go out and eat. No, the beef I bought is still here. Didn't you want to eat stewed beef? I'll make it for you. Then, Qiao Fei stood up and carefully took out the beef he bought. After going through a life and death battle, he didn't expect that the beef was still there and that he would still remember it. Lu Yan's eyes moistened. Ever since she got together with Qiao Fei, she was easily touched. She was a fearless tomboy, but now, she had a gentleness unique to young girls. When Qiao Fei went to cook, Lu Yen leaped onto the roof and sat down with her knees bent, watching the setting sun in the distance. She looked down, turned on the radio watch on her wrist, and pressed a familiar number. Hello, I'm Huamin. In his office, Huamin picked up the phone while reading the documents Chen Jia had sent him. Sister. She said softly. Huamin was extremely excited. Little Yen, is that you? Yes. Where are you? Are you okay? Why haven't you called me recently? Are you hurt? You're still in Russia? Did Dad contact you? How is he? Huamin wished he could ask a bunch of questions. Lu Yen chuckled, Sis. How am I supposed to answer all your questions? Lu Yen smiled. Then I'll ask you one by one. Are you okay? Huamin asked gently. Emicham, good. Lu Yen wouldn't tell Huamin that she and Qiao Fei had just experienced a thrilling chase. Then, Are you still in Russia with the Qiao family? Huamin heard from Qin Chu that the Qiao family had a lot of influence in Russia. So, if Lu Yan stayed in Russia, she should be safe. Emicham, I'm still in Russia. Lu Yan lied to reassure her sister. Then, is your boyfriend good to you? Very good. Don't worry, sis. Have you contacted Dad recently? Huamin asked immediately. Chapter 2600. Yeah. Dad's fine. That old man's smarter than I am. He'll be fine, Lu Yan joked. You're always so arrogant. Be careful, okay? I know. Sis, how are you doing? I'm fine, really? How come I heard that you're getting a divorce? Lu Yan was always well informed. Oh. It's just a small conflict. The media likes to hype things up. Don't worry about it. How are Little Bean and Pudding? They're fine. Don't worry. Okay. If someone bullies you, tell me. I'll blow her up for you. Huh. Okay. Huamin liked Lu Yan very much because she was very similar to him in many ways. She was fearless, brave in the face of danger, and hot-tempered to blow people up for no reason. Huamin loved her very much. Sis, what are you laughing at? I'm serious. I have many bombs of all kinds. The most advanced bombs in the world, homing missiles, and even rocket launchers, I can get them all. Huh. Huamin laughed. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I know. Then why are you laughing? I feel like you don't believe me and think I'm bragging. Lu Yan rubbed her temples in frustration. No. It's just that. I'm just an ordinary person. You really don't need to use rocket launchers. Huh. It's such a waste. Okay. Anyways. Sis, don't be afraid of anything. I'll protect you if anything happens. Okay. Yan, you have to be careful too. Okay? I know. It's okay. Okay, sis, I'll hang up now. Okay. So soon. Huamin was reluctant to hang up. He rarely talked to Lu Yan on the phone, so he didn't want to hang up. International calls are expensive, Lu Yan said deliberately. Nonsense. You don't need money. Huamin laughed. He knew Lu Yan was very rich. Just the gifts she gave the twins were worth more than 100 million yuan. I'm just teasing you. I still have something to do here, so I can't chat with you for too long. But I'll call you often. Okay, you have to remember to tell me that you're safe. Okay, then. Goodbye, sis. Goodbye, Yan. After hanging up, Lu Yan was a bit disappointed. She didn't want to sit and chat with Huamin in a cafe. She went shopping with her sister, bought some clothes, got a beauty salon, and played golf. However, that had never been her way of life. She was destined to be a queen from the moment she was born. Sometimes, she would fantasize about how great it would be if she was the one her parents had lost. Then, she could be like her sister and live an ordinary life. She wanted to go to university, do what she liked, get a boyfriend she loved deeply, and then, get married after graduation and have a bunch of babies of her own. However, the dreams of ordinary people were out of Lu Yan's reach. Yan, dinner is ready. We can eat now. Qiao Fei stood below the house and looked up at the roof. Okay. Lu Yan only said one word. Then, she leaped down from the roof. She jumped down from a height of more than 3 meters. She had to admit that she was very good at martial arts. While they were eating and chatting, Lu Yan suddenly asked emotionally. Qiao Fei, do you know what my dream was when I was 5 years old? Was it to be a bomb expert? Qiao Fei asked. Chapter 2601. Damn it. Don't tease me. Fine, I was still young back then and didn't know about explosives. I wanted to be a mercenary or a bomb expert. Then what did you want to be? Lu Yen lowered her head and took a sip of the beef soup. Then, she looked up and said seriously, my dream was to be an architect. An architect? Qiao Fei froze. This didn't match Lu Yan's temperament at all. Yes, architect. At that time, I didn't know that this profession was called architect. I just thought that when I grew up, would build a house. I would build a lot of beautiful houses for my family, my friends, my teachers, and my classmates to live in. I would build iconic houses, like the Palace of Versailles in France, the Taj Mahal, and the Forbidden City in China. Houses that would be remembered by many for many years. I felt that if others lived in the houses I designed, would feel a sense of accomplishment. That's a good dream, Qiao Fei praised. Yeah. Later, when I grew up, I gradually understood that sometimes people don't have a choice in this world. You can't do whatever you want. So, I envy my sister. She can be a doctor whenever she wants to. She can do what she likes. She's so happy. Yen, in the future, we'll get rid of Ian and change our names. We'll go to a country you like, a city you like, and start over. Then, you won't be the demoness of the mercenary world, and I won't be the young master of the Qiao family. We'll live a normal life, okay? Okay, okay. Lu Yen clapped her hands happily like a child. What about you, Qiao Fei? What's your dream? If we have a chance to start over, what do you want to do? I want to open a restaurant. A restaurant? Lu Yen was surprised. My great-grandfather's father was a chef from the Qing dynasty. His cooking was especially delicious. It's said that his all-fish banquet was very famous at that time, and he was even summoned by the Qing dynasty's emperor to cook for him in the palace's imperial kitchen. It's just that. Later, when the dynasty changed, there was unrest, and our family lost this skill. When my great-grandfather was a firebrand, he made a fuss about wanting to cook the Qiao family's private home cuisine, but he didn't agree, saying that it wouldn't make much money. In the end, we relied on underhanded means to build up our family's business and ended up in our current state. If we can live without our current identities in the future, I want to open a Qiao family's private home cuisine restaurant. Damn, that's a good idea. But what can you do? Do you only sell stewed beef? Lu Yen covered her mouth and laughed. Of course not. I know a lot. I've done a lot of research on this. In the future, I'll make one for you every day. Okay, I'm in for a treat. So, you want to be my wife? Qiao Fei began to be narcissistic. Humph. Don't be so smug. You're lucky to marry me. With your wife protecting you, no one will dare to bully you. Who cares if it's Qiao Nan or Ian? If anyone dares to touch my man, I'll beat them into a pulp. As she spoke, Lu Yen began to transform into a tough woman. However, Qiao Fei didn't mind at all. He looked at Lu Yen with love in his eyes. He felt that in his heart, no woman in the world could compare to Lu Yan's childish smile. Perhaps falling in love with someone was that simple. Whether it was in this life, the next life, or the life after that, he wanted to be with her and never get tired of her. Inside Southside Recuperation Center, Vice Director Huamin, bad news. Dr. Lu is in trouble. Hurry up and take a look. A doctor knocked on the door in a hurry to inform Huamin. Chapter 2602. Which Dr. Lu? Huamin didn't know how to react. Southside was so big and there were so many doctors with the surname Lu. How did Huamin know which one it was? It's Dr. Lu Zhe. What happened to him? Huamian didn't really like Lu Zhe and was always on guard against him. Therefore, when she heard that something had happened to him, she was worried. Huamin wasn't worried at all. Instead, he was suspicious and on guard. Dr. Lu fainted in the operating room. Fainted? Is the surgery done? It's done. Thank goodness it's done. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to find another doctor. Okay, I'll go take a look. When Lu Zhe fainted in the operating room, the news spread like wildfire at South Side. Director Wu was rarely around, so Huamian, as a higher-up, had to go and see what was going on. Inside the emergency room, Vice Director is here. Everyone, make way. When they saw Huamin, everyone made way for him. Huamin walked in. How is it, Dr. Zhao? What happened to Dr. Lu? Huamin asked the doctor who saved Lu Zhe. I just did a checkup on Dr. Lu and found that he has hypoglycemia. Dr. Lu has been working overtime recently. He's been working the night shift for a few days and had 3 major surgeries in a row. He's exhausted and his blood sugar is low. That's why he fainted. Vice Director, I suggest that you give him a break and let him rest. Okay, I got it. Huamin let out a sigh of relief when he heard that it wasn't a big deal. When she walked into the emergency room, Lu Zhe had already woken up. He didn't look well. However, when he saw Huamin, he forced a smile. Vice Director. You're here. Rest well. If you have hypoglycemia, you can't be too tired. Why are you working overtime? Huamin looked at him. Our department is short of manpower recently. Because we were transferred to the first hospital, we are very busy. Dr. Wang's daughter has been having a fever recently, so I let her take her annual leave in advance. I thought I could handle it for a few days. Who knew that I would be so unlucky to encounter 3 major operations, huh? He smiled tiredly. We can only save other people's lives if we take good care of ourselves. How about this? From now on, I'll give you a week off. No, if I'm on vacation, there'll be no one in our department. Lu Zhe objected. Don't worry, I'll make the necessary arrangements. You can rest well. With that, Huamin turned to leave. Vice Principal, anything else? Do you hate me? Lu Zhe suddenly asked. Why do you say that? As the leader of the hospital, I treat everyone equally, Huamin said in a formal tone. Vice Director, you're lying. You don't treat everyone equally. I know you hate Zhang Manlin and me. Ha! You hate Zhang Manlin because she seduced your husband. What about me? Why do you hate me? We used to be classmates. I don't understand. I don't hate you, Dr. Lu. You're thinking too much. Vice Director, if you don't hate me, can you shake my hand and make peace with me? Lu Zhe reached out his hand. Huamin actually didn't want to shake his hand, but there were so many doctors and nurses watching. If she didn't give Lu Zhe a way out, she would look petty. Therefore, she had to bite the bullet and shake his hand. The moment she shook Lu Zhe's hand, Zhang Manlin took out her phone from behind the crowd and took a photo. She sent it to Qin Chu on Weibo. President Qin. Our vice director seems to care a lot about Dr. Lu, she said. Chapter 2603. After reading it, Qin Chu's expression changed slightly. When did this happen? Just now. Our Dr. Lu fainted, and the vice director was very worried. She even came to see him personally. I always thought that she was just concerned about her subordinates, but I was surprised to see them shaking hands. I heard that our vice director is a germaphobe and rarely comes into contact with people. Yet, she was able to shake hands with Dr. Lu. This is a bit strange, President Qin. I think that we're good friends, so it's better for you to know about this. Otherwise, everyone will know about it, and you'll be the only one left in the dark. That would be bad. Okay, I got it. If you're sad, or uncomfortable, let's go out for a drink after I get off work? Zhang Manlin offered. No need, I'm hanging up. After speaking, Qin Chu coldly hung up the phone. Interacting with Zhang Manlin wasn't easy, because he had to act natural and not be too close to her. Being close to her would make Hua Xiqian suspicious, but being too cold would slow things down. So, Qin Chu had to be careful. It was quite tiring. It wasn't strange for Zhang Manlin to do something like this, because she didn't have a high EQ to begin with. Qin Chu didn't know where Lu Zhe came from, or if he was one of Hua Xiqian's men, but he did want to get close to Hua Mian. Then, Zhang Manlin had evidence and came to tell on him. Her goal was obvious, she wanted to break him and his wife apart. But after so many years, how could a few pretentious bitches ruin it? Qin Chu used to think that other than death, nothing could separate him and Hua Mian. But now, he felt that even death couldn't separate them, because if something happened to Hua Mian, he wouldn't live alone. No matter if it was heaven or earth, they were destined to be together forever. At this thought, Qin Chu took out Hua Mian's photo from his drawer, cherishing the memories they shared over the years. No matter when or where, no matter what year or month, he thought, Hua Mian would always be the person he treasured the most in his life. No one could compare, not even the twins. This was a unique kind of love, one that carried a strong possessive desire, and even a little selfish and paranoid love. Hua Corporation headquarters. Zhang Manlin sneaked out to see Hua Xiqian while she was filing taxes for the hospital. Boss, Zhang Manlin is here. Let her in. Hua Xiqian put down the teacup in his hand. Then, Zhang Manlin walked in, wearing black overalls. She was wearing a pair of black-rimmed glasses, like Hua Mian's, like Hua Mian. Those who weren't familiar with them would think that they were Hua Mian. In fact, Hua Xiqian and Qin Chu, who were familiar with Hua Mian, could tell at a glance. No matter how much she tried to imitate Hua Mian, she still didn't learn the essence of Hua Mian. In the words of the King of Heaven, he was always imitated, but never surpassed. Big Brother Qian. Sit, Lin Lin. Hua Xiqian poured her a cup of tea. This made Zhang Manlin feel flattered. Big Brother Qian, don't worry. I'm sure Qin Chu is at GK, and Hua Mian is at South Side. That's why I came to see you. No one followed me. Emicham, you've always been reliable. I'm not worried. Hua Xiqian nodded. Big Brother Qian. Things have been going well lately, but something like this happened today. Then, Zhang Manlin excitedly sent the photo she took of Lu Zhe and Hua Mian to Qin Chu, feeling proud of herself. However, to her surprise, Hua Xiqian's face darkened. Big Brother Qian, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Zhang Manlin was a bit nervous. Chapter 2604. Lin Lin, you're still young. Do you think Qin Chu will believe you if you use such a low-level trick on him? I think he already has a misunderstanding about Hua Mian, so I'm just adding fuel to the fire. I think it's working. Zhang Manlin was full of confidence as if she wanted to take credit from Hua Xiqian. Then you're using the wrong person. Qin Chu won't believe that there's something going on between Lu Zhe and Mian. Why don't you use Su Yu instead? Su Yu? Zhang Manlin froze. Su Yu is the opponent that Qin Chu cares about the most. Especially when Qin Chu was abroad for 4 years, it was Su Yu who took care of Mian. Although Qin Chu didn't say anything, he still feels uncomfortable. So, I think the best way is to use their conflict. Big Brother Qian, are you saying that you want me to intensify the conflict between Su Yu and Qin Chu and put Hua Mian in a difficult position? She finally understood what Hua Xiqian meant. Qin Chu was Hua Mian's husband. Su Yu was her best friend. So, once the conflict between the two men broke out, Hua Mian would be in a difficult position. The Su family had helped her and the twins, so she didn't want to fall out with Su Yu. But if she didn't fall out with him and spoke up for Su Yu, Qin Chu would misunderstand that she had feelings for Su Yu. Zhang Manlin had an epiphany and couldn't help but be impressed by her boss's careful thinking. But I can get in touch with Qin Chu, but Su Yu, it's not easy. Do you think it's difficult, or do you not want to get in touch with Su Yu? Hua Xiqian looked up and asked. Big brother Qian, what do you mean? Zhang Manlin smiled awkwardly. Lin Lin, you're young, it's normal for you to make mistakes. But don't take me for an idiot. Big brother Qian, you're getting more and more ridiculous. What's wrong with me? Zhang Manlin couldn't hold it in anymore. She was terrified of Hua Xiqian because she saw Hua Xiqian deal with traitors and spies with her own eyes. She knew how tragically those people had died, so she didn't dare to anger Hua Xiqian no matter how brave she was. Lin Lin, you like Qin Chu, right? Hua Xiqian looked down, fiddling with the ring on his finger, and asked nonchalantly. Big brother Qian, I don't. Zhang Manlin was shocked. Don't be in such a hurry to deny it. I rarely jump to conclusions, but once I do, I have enough evidence to back it up. So, Lin Lin, you can't fool me. You're trying so hard to get close to Qin Chu and break them apart. Not only are you doing your best for me, but you're also falling in love with him. Big brother Qian. Zhang Manlin bit her lips, embarrassed. Hua Xiqian saw through her little thoughts, so she couldn't even deny it. It was indeed embarrassing. She thought Hua Xiqian would be furious, but he wasn't. He slowly picked up his teacup and carefully sipped his tea. Then, he glanced at Zhang Manlin and continued, but you can't blame me. But I can't blame you. No normal woman can escape from a man like Qin Chu. He's rich, handsome, cold, and has everything he wants. Not just you, but anyone else would fall for him. Big brother Qian, I know who I am and what my mission is. I won't delay your plan, please trust me. Zhang Manlin anxiously expressed her loyalty to Hua Xiqian. Lin Lin, we don't have much time left. Hua Xiqian suddenly changed the topic. Chapter 2605. Big brother Qian, I know you're anxious. I'll do it as soon as possible. Zhang Manlin felt like she played a big role in this. Actually, don't feel pressured. Just follow the original plan. I'm just saying that I'm running out of time. Big brother Qian, don't worry. You'll definitely be the vice director. Hua Xiqian smiled but didn't say anything. Big brother Qian, don't be mad. I'll do what you told me and change the target. I'll try to sow discord between Qin Chu and Su Yu. Emicham, just do your best. Then. I'll leave now. Zhang Manlin didn't dare to stay any longer. She was afraid that the more she said, the more mistakes she would make. This was someone she couldn't afford to offend. If she angered him, he might bury her alive. Wait, Lin Lin, Hua Xiqian called out. Huh? Zhang Manlin turned around. Did you just say that Lu Zhe shook hands with Mian? Hua Xiqian asked with a smile. Emicham, Zhang Manlin nodded, a little confused. Oh, okay. You can leave now. Emicham, Zhang Manlin walked out, trembling. Then, Hua Xiqian stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. His eyes became deep and profound. South Side Recuperation Center. Hua Min took care of all the chores in the afternoon and felt dizzy. The weather had warmed up recently, but the seasons were changing. Hua Min felt like he was going to catch a cold. Sister Mian, are you okay? Chen Jia asked worriedly when she saw Hua Mian's tired face. I'm fine, just a little tired. Then you can go home when it's time. Don't work overtime. Emicham, I'll leave early today. Hua Min packed up and walked out with her bag and car keys. When she got to her car, she saw a bouquet of light pink roses on the hood. She picked it up and saw a card written on it. "Thank you, Vice Director, for your care and concern." There was no signature, but it sounded like Lu Zhe. She looked around but didn't see anyone. She picked up her phone and called him. "Vice Principal, Dr. Lu, did you send the flowers?" "Yes, I specially ordered it for you." "Thank you for your care, Vice Dean. But isn't it inappropriate for you to give her roses?" Hua Min was a little displeased. Wasn't there enough gossip recently? From Wei Dong, to Jiang Yi, to Su Yu. Oh my god, now there's Lu Zhe. It's going to explode. Oh, roses don't necessarily represent love. This is a Bulgarian rose. The color is very beautiful. I thought you would like it. I'm sorry, I really don't like it. Don't do this again. After saying that, Hua Min directly took the roses out of the car. He wanted to throw them on the ground, but he was afraid that they would pollute the environment. At that moment, he saw a nurse walk out from inside. Wan. "Vice Dean, you were looking for me? This is for you. If you like it, you can keep it at home. If you don't like it, you can throw it into the trash can." "Thank you." After saying that, Hua Min turned around and got into the car. He drove away, leaving the confused nurse behind. When Hua Min came home from work, Qin Ning was wearing casual home clothes and playing mobile games with the twins. "Mommy, you're back?" Little Bean greeted her. "Where's Grandpa and Grandma?" Seeing that his in-laws weren't home, Hua Min changed his shoes and asked. Grandpa and Grandma went to visit an old friend. He said that one of Grandpa's old friends came back from Hong Kong and wanted to eat, drink tea, and take a sauna, Little Bean said. "Okay." Hua Min nodded. "Mommy, you didn't come back with Daddy?" Little Bean asked. "Your daddy isn't back yet?" Hua Min just realized that Qin Chu's car wasn't outside. It seemed that he was careless. "Sis-in-law, what's going on between you and my brother?" Qin Ning couldn't sit still anymore. She stood up and secretly asked Hua Min, afraid that the twins would hear. Chapter 2606. I'm really fine. Hua Min smiled. "I don't believe you. Sister-in-law, you're not telling the truth. Do you think I'm an outsider?" Qin Ning pouted. "No, of course not. I just think, there's no need for everyone to know about a small conflict between husband and wife." "You call this a small conflict? You guys are going to divorce." "Divorce? No way. I'm Cinderella and I finally married into a rich family. I don't want a divorce. If I get a divorce, who's going to buy me Hermes bags and drive me a Porsche?" Hua Min joked. "Sister-in-law, you're so careless. How can you laugh at a time like this? Careless people live longer." Hua Min tried to lighten the mood. "Forget it. I won't ask you anymore. I'll ask my brother later." Qin Ning saw that Hua Min wasn't going to say anything, so she decided to ask Qin Chu. "Actually, it's useless to ask your brother. He won't say anything. After all, he's like that." Hua Min analyzed. "That's not necessarily true. I'm his favorite sister. Before I married you, my brother and I were very close." I even know something you don't know." Qin Ning was so proud that she almost spilled the beans. "What is it?" Hua Min immediately caught the key point. "Oh, my brother. He has a weak stomach and can't eat too much seafood. But because he loves you, he still wants to eat with you," Qin Ning said guiltily. But it was obvious that this was just an excuse and not what she wanted to say. It seemed that Mr. Qin was indeed hiding something from her and Qin Ning knew about it. Hua Min had a plan in her mind, but on the surface, she didn't say anything. "A young lady, it's time for dinner, okay?" You get ready. I'm going upstairs to take a shower. After that, Huamin went upstairs to take a shower. When she came downstairs, it was almost 7 o'clock, but Qin Chu was still not back. "Mommy, I'm so hungry," Little Bean said pitifully. "Then let's eat first." Looking at the time, Huamin felt that Qin Chu probably wouldn't come back for dinner. "My brother is too much. Why doesn't he even go home? He's getting worse and worse." "Humph," Qin Ning also nagged. Huamin, Qin Ning, and the twins sat around the huge dining table to eat. They didn't have much of an appetite for the meal. Because Huamin was groggy. She had indeed caught a cold. "Sister-in-law, you don't look too good." "Yeah, maybe I caught a little cold," Huamin said listlessly. "Then hurry up and take your medicine. You're a doctor, don't you have common sense?" Qin Ning urged. I can't. All medicine is poison. I'll ask the kitchen to make me a bowl of ginger tea. I'll be fine." After dinner, Qin Chu still hadn't come back. Pudding was lying on the sofa reading the financial news, while Little Bean was eating fruit and reading comics. Qin Ning was holding her phone and chatting with Tang Chuan. The two were really in love. Even when they were texting, they had happy smiles on their faces. Huamin was about to give orders to the kitchen when she saw that only the maid, Caillou, was in the kitchen. She dismissed the idea of asking her to make ginger tea. After all, she was pregnant with her second child. It would be troublesome if this woman did something to it. "A young lady, if you need anything, just ask me," Caillou said. "Oh, it's okay. I want to make some ginger tea. I'm bored, so I'll do it myself." Then, Huamin began to get busy. Caillou was washing the dishes and wiping the kitchen. Huamin suddenly turned to look at her and asked, "Caillou, how long have you been living with us?" Almost 4 months. "Oh, who introduced you when you came?" Huamian asked casually. Caillou's expression became unnatural. Chapter 2607. I came to apply for the job myself." "Really? Then how did you know that I'm hiring?" "I remember. Uncle Lee is very low-key and doesn't like to advertise." Caillou obviously didn't expect Huamin to ask this, so she was at a loss for words. "I heard it from a friend." "What kind of friend is this? Why are you so well informed? How does he know about South Hill Manor?" Maybe my friend's relative used to work at my place and that's how he found out." "A young lady, I'm going to empty the trash can." Caillou felt guilty and didn't dare to continue chatting with Huamin. She lowered her head, picked up the trash bag, and left. Huamin smiled. On the other hand, the little girl was impatient and couldn't hold it in after Huamin asked her. After Caillou left, she immediately took out her phone and wanted to call Hua Xiqian to report, but no one picked up. "Huh? That's weird. What's wrong with the boss today? He's not picking up his phone." Caillou hid in a corner of the back garden of South Hill Manor and mumbled. At this moment, in a wealthy district in the city, Lu Zhe was very tired today. His blood sugar was low and he was really tired, but his behavior today was a bit too exaggerated. He thought that Huamin would take pity on him, but to his surprise, Huamin was still as cold as ice. After parking his flashy purple Ferrari downstairs, he walked out with the keys. "Huamin, this woman. She's so unromantic. I don't know why Qin Chu and Suyu like her. She's not good-looking, not good-looking, not good-looking. Most importantly, she's so arrogant. A woman like her would be boring if she laid naked on the bed. She's probably like a dead fish." He mumbled to himself as he walked upstairs. This was the 6th-floor bungalow garden. Each bungalow was more than 200 square meters in size. Everyone in Southside knew that Lu Zhe didn't lack money. He was a rich second-generation heir who came back from overseas and had plenty of money. The cars he drove were all limited edition. Although he wasn't as ostentatious as Su Yu and not as reserved as Qin Chu, he was indeed more willful when he was rich. After returning to China, Lu Zhe kept in touch with Han Su and the others occasionally. He also hung out with some of the young masters in the circle. He even met Shen Mingxi a few times. As for being a doctor at Southside, many people thought that he had too much money and no longer had any dreams, so he found something to do to relieve his boredom. But that wasn't the case. He only had one goal in mind when he went to Southside: to chase after Huamin. Originally, he thought that with his good looks and gentleness to women, he would be able to win her over quickly. Who knew that Huamin, that woman, was like a block of wood? She did not give him any chance at all. Yesterday, he had barely held her hand, and he had even tried his best to pretend that he was seriously ill. Perhaps Lu Zhe was too tired, so he let his guard down. When he went upstairs, he did not notice that someone was following him. Until the moment he opened the door and entered the house, Lu Zhe was actually still in the hospital, but because he disliked the smell of formalin in the hospital, he ignored the doctor's advice and drove home in the middle of the night. The moment he opened the door, someone suddenly attacked him from behind. It felt like something had hit him in the back. Actually, it was aimed at his head. Fortunately, he had a sense of danger and instinctively leaned forward, dodging the attack. That heavy hit on his back sent a piercing pain through his bones. Lu Zhe staggered and fell to the ground. When he turned around, he saw a man wearing a skull mask with an axe in his hand. Instantly, he was terrified. Chapter 2608. Who are you? Lu Zhe was scared. I'm someone who wants your life. That person had used a voice changer, and the words he spoke were also strange, with a trembling voice. Brother, how much money do you want? Lu Zhe really thought that this man was a robber. The man with the axe sneered, I'm only interested in your life. Then, he swung the axe down, and Lu Zhe was so scared that he almost peed his pants. He got up and ran towards the bedroom. Unfortunately, that person was faster than him. Before he could touch the bedroom door, his hair was grabbed by the man behind him. Then, he pulled his hair and slammed it against the wall. It was extremely violent. Lu Zhe was seeing stars from this collision. Brother, if you want to kill me, you should at least let me know. What did I do to offend you? Lu Zhe didn't understand. He just came back not long ago, and he didn't make any enemies at the hospital. Wait, the hospital? Lu Zhe suddenly thought of something and asked the man, did Qin Chu send you? He thought that Qin Chu got jealous because he was too close with Huamin, so he sent someone to deal with him. Qin Chu? Haha, he doesn't deserve to command me. Then, the man raised his axe and swung it down. Lu Zhe dodged once again, but his arm was firmly stepped on by that person. Instead of enjoying your life, you came back to die. Today, I'll fulfill your wish. Then, the man raised his axe again. Lu Zhe saw this and knew that if he didn't fight back, he would lose his life. So, he used his head to slam into the man's stomach. Perhaps the man didn't expect him to fight back so desperately, so the axe in his hand was sent flying far away. He tried to get up, but the man still didn't let him go. He used his foot to pin Lu Zhe's arm down. In order to protect himself, Lu Zhe turned around to get a toolbox not far away. But before he could touch it, he felt something cold on his wrist. What followed was excruciating pain. He turned around and saw the man slit his wrist with a dagger. Blood immediately spurted out. It was extremely terrifying. Ah! Save me, save me! Finally, he broke down and cried out. Perhaps it was not his time to die. In order to protect these rich people, this residential area had installed sound alarms. When the alarm automatically recognized an abnormal decibel sound, it would automatically sound the alarm, and the alarm would beep. The man with the skull mask slowly stood up. "I'll let you go today." With that, he quickly opened the door and left. Lu Zhe struggled to get up. He wanted to go to the hospital, but suddenly, he had a bad idea. Then, he slowly picked up his phone and dialed a number using an app that blocked numbers. Then, he said, "I know a secret about Huamin. If you want to know, come to number 5 Zhongguan Road, Tianqi Public Relations, Building 7, 601. After saying that, he crawled on the ground in exhaustion and called the hospital. "I'm injured. Come and pick me up. Don't worry, I can treat my wounds temporarily. You can come in 15 minutes. After receiving Dr. Lu's call, the ambulance at South Side immediately started preparing. Inside a club, Su Yu, Tang Chuan, and Wei Liao hadn't gotten together in a long time. They were drinking. After Su Yu finished the call, his expression changed and he stood up to leave. "Lord Su, where are you going? What happened?" Tang Chuan asked. Chapter 2609. "Oh, it's my own business," Su Yu said, trying to cover it up. "What's the matter with you?" Tang Chuan asked. "Yeah, what business do you have that we can't know about?" Wei Liao looked up at Su Yu. You guys won't know even if I tell you. Let's go, I'll make arrangements for you two tomorrow night." Su Yu always cared about Huamin, especially anything related to Huamin. So, when he heard it was about Huamin's secret, Su Yu couldn't stay calm. He wasn't in the mood to drink with Wei Liao and the others anymore. It hadn't been very peaceful recently, and he was afraid that someone would do something to hurt Huamin. After leaving the club, Su Yu didn't immediately get into his car. Instead, he called Huamin. "Hello?" Huamin was putting on a face mask at South Hill Manor. It was strange to receive a call from Su Yu at this time. "Mian, what are you doing?" "I'm putting on a face mask at home, Emichem, what's wrong?" "Nothing, I just want to know what you're doing." "Ha, how boring are you, Lord Su?" Huamin teased. "It's nothing, you can continue." Hearing Huamin's tone, Su Yu relaxed. It meant that Huamin was safe. However, that person said he knew Huamin's secret. Su Yu was still worried, so he opened the car door and sped away. What he wanted to know wasn't Huamin's secret. He wanted to see who was hiding in the dark and trying to scheme against Huamin. In short, he wanted to get rid of all those who were harmful to Huamin. Even if he couldn't be with her, he wanted to protect her for the rest of her life. Su Yu's thinking was that simple. That was why he fell into someone's trap so easily. It wasn't because he was stupid. Su Yu never had a low EQ. It was all because he loved Huamin too much. Su Yu followed the address given on the phone and arrived in less than 12 minutes. He walked into the neighborhood and found the address upstairs. When he arrived, he found that the door was unlocked. Based on his intuition as a soldier for many years, he had a bad feeling that something had happened inside. But, thinking that this might have something to do with Huamian, he hesitated for a moment before opening the door and going in. There was a sharp fruit knife on the floor, stained with blood stains. Then, Mian's two S's to have a look and smell. Mian B's something, Su Yu, you're finally here. Lu Zhe leaned against the wall, covering the wound on his other hand with one hand to stop the bleeding. At this moment, there was a strange smile on his face. "You know me?" Su Yu looked at Lu Zhe in confusion. He didn't know who Dr. Lu was at South Side. He didn't look like someone he knew, nor did he look like someone he knew in the past. It was a completely unfamiliar face. Before Lu Zhe could answer, he heard hurried footsteps from outside. Suddenly, Lu Zhe screamed, "Su Yu, don't kill me, I beg you. I'll give you anything you want, please don't kill me." Fuck. What are you talking about? Su Yu was dumbfounded when he heard what Huamian said. When the paramedics from South Side arrived, they saw this scene. Su Yu stood in front of Lu Zhe with a fruit knife in his hand. Lu Zhe was injured and bleeding profusely. His face looked haggard. Oh my God, what's going on? The paramedics who had rushed over were also shocked. Chapter 26:10. Help! Help! He's trying to kill me. Call the police. Lu Zhe yelled frantically. What are you talking about? Didn't you ask me to come? You said it's about Hua. Help me. Lu Zhe's eyes closed and he fainted on the ground after saying those two words. Su Yu swallowed the words he was about to say. He suddenly realized that he might have been set up. Now was not the time to mention Huamin's name. After Su Yu saw Lu Zhe faint, he turned around and saw 4 paramedics rushing over. I didn't do it, he tried to explain patiently. When the paramedics saw the look in Su Yu's eyes, they backed away in fear. It really wasn't me? Murderers never admit that they've killed anyone, and drunk drivers never admit that they've drunk too much, a male doctor said coldly. Let's save him first. It looks like Dr. Lu is seriously injured. Okay. The paramedics carried Lu Zhe downstairs, and Su Yu followed them. Just as he was about to leave, he was stopped by a police car. Lord Su, why are you here? Gao Ran was surprised to see Su Yu. Su Yu wanted to explain, but he didn't know what to say. The city bureau just received news that there might be an intentional assault case here. I'm on duty, so I came to check it out. Why are you here? Gao Ran was also confused. Su Yu suddenly realized what was going on. He whispered to Gao Ran, I think I might have been set up. Set up? Gao Ran was even more confused. I'll explain it to you later. You're the suspect? Gao Ran finally understood. Su Yu nodded. Fuck, this is complicated. It's okay, just do your job. There are so many people watching, you can't be biased. Su Yu expressed his understanding. But because of Qin Chu and Huamin, Gao Ran and Su Yu weren't particularly good friends, but they often ate together. They knew each other very well. Not to mention that the injured man was a male doctor. Even if it was the governor, Su Yu wouldn't have done it. Let me ask you, do you know the injured man? Gao Ran asked in a low voice. I don't know him, but he seems to know me. It looks like he did come prepared. Gao Ran felt that there was something fishy going on. At this time, more and more people gathered around and even the media was alerted. I'm sorry, Lord Su, I'll take you back to the bureau. Of course, let's go. Su Yu admitted that he was unlucky and obediently followed Gao Ran into the police car. So, in the middle of the night, to the night to break, Su family's young master suspected of intentional assault, male victim status unknown. When the news got out, Tang Chuan and Wei Liao were so scared that they almost peed their pants. Su Yu hadn't left the club for long, right? How could he have hurt someone? Did he get into a fight? Huamin was about to go to bed after putting on his mask when he was distracted by 2 things. First, the hospital called to say that Lu Zhe was seriously injured and was being resuscitated. Second, Gao Ran called to say that Su Yu had been taken away for investigation. There might be something fishy going on, so he asked Huamin to go to South Side and ask what happened if Lu Zhe was okay. Huamin wasn't in the mood to sleep. He got up, put on his clothes, and was about to go out. Coincidentally, she bumped into Qin Chu, who was returning late. It's so late, where are you going? Qin Chu looked at Huamin and asked coldly. Chapter 26:11. Something happened at the hospital. Why do you have to go? Qin Chu's attitude was cold. Lu Zhe is in trouble, and Su Yu is involved as well. I have to go take a look. Lu Zhe, Suyu, Mian. Why do you care about everyone but me? Huamin was anxious, and when he heard Qin Chu's words, he was a little angry. However, he suddenly remembered that Mr. Qin was never like this, so he must be acting. Was the living room bugged as well? He didn't have time to think, so he had to continue acting. When did I not care about you? Qin Chu, don't be unreasonable, okay? You're not allowed to leave, we'll have dinner together as a family. No, it's really urgent. Huamin was anxious. Huamin, you're just a deputy director. South Side still has President Wu. You don't have to do everything. Qin Chu was a little angry. Even so, I don't care about Lu Zhe's life or death, but what about Suyu? Can I turn a blind eye to his affairs? So, who is Suyu to you? Qin Chu coldly glanced at Huamin's face. What do you mean by that? Huamin was confused. Isn't it clear enough? Mian, in the 4 years that I was away, you didn't just see Suyu as a good friend, did you? What nonsense are you talking about? You know best whether I'm talking nonsense or not. I don't have time to argue with you, I have to go to the hospital. If you go, don't come back. Huamin was already at the door when he heard Qin Chu's words. He immediately turned around. Say that again? I said, if you don't listen to me today and insist on minding other men, then, don't come back. Are you serious? You're not joking, right? Huamin asked with a pained expression. I never make such jokes. Qin Chu was extremely serious. All right, I got it. Don't regret it. With that, Huamin left without looking back. After Huamin left, Qin Chu lifted an antique vase from the living room and smashed it on the ground with a loud crash. In an instant, the vase was smashed to pieces. Daddy, what's going on? Little Bean stood on the stairs of the second floor and looked at her angry father. Qin Ning and Pudding also came downstairs. Brother, what happened? Qin Chu didn't say a word. Pudding, Little Bean, if Daddy and Mommy get divorced, who will you be with? Qin Chu looked up at his daughters. No, Daddy, don't divorce Mommy. Little Bean was so scared that she began to cry. Pudding was still calm. I don't care who. Qin Ning, brother, don't talk nonsense. Divorce? What divorce? All these years, it wasn't easy for you to be with my sister-in-law. You've been through so much together and you're not even afraid of death. How could a small misunderstanding turn you two into this? Is it because of that woman named Zhang Manlin? Humph, I'm going to find her tomorrow and tear her face apart, Qin Ning cursed angrily. It's none of your business. Brother, I'm doing this for your own good. We don't need you to do this for our own good. Ning, how about this? Pack your luggage tonight and take my parents, Pudding, and Little Bean back to the States. I'll book the fastest flight for you, Qin Chu said with a cold face. Are you trying to get rid of us? What about my sister-in-law? What about her? Qin Ning asked. Chapter 26:12. Don't worry about her, she's great, and she's very capable. From Wei Dong to Lu Zhe, from Su Yu to Jiang Yi, all those men would do anything for her. Big brother, how can you say that about her? She's your wife. She's not going to be your wife soon. It's settled then. Daddy, I don't want to leave Mommy. I don't want Mommy to stay here. Little Bean felt sad at the thought of being separated from her mommy. Then you can stay here and live with your mommy. I don't want to be separated from my sister either. Daddy, we'll always be a family, right? Little Bean was crying so hard that her eyes were red. She looked so adorable. Qin Chu's heart ached for his daughter. He wanted to hug his daughter and comfort her. But he knew that if he didn't put on a good show, Huasiqian wouldn't believe him. If that happened, this battle would be endless. It was better to end it as soon as possible. Little Bean, no matter what, whether or not Daddy and Mommy can be together, you'll always be Daddy's daughter. In the end, Chin Chu turned around and went upstairs after saying those words. I suspect, your daddy is under a spell. Should we find a wizard or something to check on him? Qin Ning knew her brother well. Although he was cold, he had never been so heartless. Especially to his wife and children. So, she felt that something was wrong. Little Bean grabbed Pudding's hand. Sis, think of something. I don't want Daddy and Mommy to divorce. That's not what I'm worried about. After all, I don't think anything will happen to Daddy and Mommy. I'm just worried that handsome Sue won't be able to clear his name. Pudding held her phone and refreshed the news about Suyu intentionally hurting people. Inside the Hua mansion, boss, who is this Lu Zhe? Why is he targeting Suyu? Cheng poured a cup of tea for Huasiqian and asked carefully. I'm curious too. Why is this guy so unpredictable? Is he trying to court me on? Does he want to get rid of Suyu? That shouldn't be the case. If he wants me on, he should be targeting Qin Chu. Why is Suyu involved? Lu Zhe's move was so strange that even Huasiqian didn't understand it. We've investigated Lu Zhe before, and there's nothing suspicious about him. This is really strange. Forget it, it's better for us this way. I just heard Mian and Qin Chu arguing about this. I told Zhang Manlin to sow discord between Su Yu and Qin Chu, but that stupid woman was obsessed with Qin Chu and didn't listen to me. She almost delayed my progress. Now, this Lu Zhe unintentionally helped us. Then do we need to add more fuel to the fire? Cheng asked. Throw Suyu into the teeth of the storm. Even so, Suyu will be fine. The Su family is too powerful. Cheng was a little worried. I don't want anything to happen to Suyu. It's not that easy to trip Suyu. I want to distract Mian and make her focus on Suyu. I want Qin Chu to have a deeper misunderstanding of her. That way, it'll be easier for me. Huasiqian finally smiled proudly. He believed that this time, Huamin and Qin Chu would be separated. Southside Recuperation Center. When Huamin arrived, Lu Zhe was already awake. His wound had been bandaged. Vice Director, you came to see me? Lu Zhe smiled slightly when he saw Huamin. Let me ask you. Did Suyu really hurt you? Did you see it clearly? Huamin looked at Lu Zhe coldly. Chapter 26:13. Vice Director, do you only care about Suyu? He's not even your husband, why are you being so nice to him? Lu Zhe's eyes glinted fiercely when he heard that Huamin cared about Suyu. Suyu is a good friend of mine, Huamin said honestly. But I'm also a good subordinate of yours. Vice Director, you can't bend the law like this. Lu Zhe. I'm not going to beat around the bush with you. There's so much pressure from the public right now. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not. Why are you so adamant about Suyu? It was Suyu who hurt me. You're lying. Suyu wouldn't do that. He doesn't even know you. What motive would he have to hurt you? Huamin glared at Lu Zhe angrily. He doesn't know me, but he does have a motive to hurt me, Lu Zhe said confidently. What motive? The whole world knows that he likes you, Lu Zhe purposely raised his voice. So? Huamin was still calm. So when he saw that I also like you, he couldn't stand it when he tried to get close to you. Especially when I was injured yesterday and held your hand. There are so many people in our hospital. Who knows if Suyu has arranged for spies to keep an eye on us? That doesn't make sense. What kind of person is Suyu? With his status, if he wants to kill you, he has thousands of ways to do it. He won't do it himself. But I can only vent my anger by doing it myself. He even told me to stay away from you. I didn't expect you to be so charming, Vice President. You're already married, but you still managed to make such a famous man fall head over heels for you. I'm impressed. Lu Zhe's words were filled with sarcasm and disdain. He was like a completely different person from before. He didn't even talk about being classmates anymore. Lu Zhe, what is your motive? Deputy Director, you must be joking. I'm here to work. I'm just an ordinary citizen. What purpose could I possibly have? Lu Zhe refused to admit it. Stop pretending. You've been planning everything from the moment you instigated Han Su to invite me to the party. I didn't expose you because I didn't want to be friends with someone like you. However, you've been up to no good lately. You've been playing games with me. I thought you wanted to hurt me, but I didn't expect you to make a move on Su Yu. Why? Since there was no one else in the ward, Huamin didn't beat around the bush and went straight to the point. Huamin, you're really smart. Lu Zhe smiled proudly. However, your imagination is too rich. What you said just now was all your own imagination, right? Huh. Do you think you're a director? How can you make up such a melodramatic story? I'm the one who's injured now. Have you looked at my medical record? 2 of my wrist's tendons were already broken. Did I do this myself and frame Su Yu? I'm not mentally ill. I wouldn't do something so cruel to myself. Did you really see who hurt you? Was it Su Yu? I'm warning you, if you say the wrong thing, the real culprit will get away scot-free. When that happens, he might try to hurt you again. Lu Zhe, you're not stupid. You need to think about the pros and cons of this, Huamin warned him. Of course, Lu Zhe knew what Huamin meant. However, since he had already done it, there was no turning back. He wouldn't turn back. He had been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. It was Su Yu. He did it. He wanted to kill me, Lu Zhe insisted. Chapter 26:14. Fine, since you're so stubborn, then. I have nothing else to say. Take care of yourself. Vice Director, you're leaving just like that? Don't you want to see me? I'm seriously injured. Huh. Dr. Lu, do you believe in a saying? Huamian turned around and sneered at Lu Zhe, enunciating each word clearly. What saying? Lu Zhe paused. Good and evil will always be rewarded. Look up if you don't believe it. Who will be spared? After saying this, Huamin turned around and left. Lu Zhe's expression changed again, humph. Su Yu deserved all of this. Lu Zhe let out a long sigh and took out a photo from his pocket. The girl in the photo had a sweet smile while his eyes were teary. I will not let Su Yu go. I will avenge you, Lu Zhe said viciously. After Huamin left South Side, he drove straight to the city bureau. Along the way, the radio in the car was broadcasting the news. Because the incident happened so suddenly, all the major media outlets were reporting on it. Lu Zhe had just returned to the city not long ago. Logically speaking, he shouldn't have stirred up the media like this. However, Su Yu's incident was getting worse and worse. There was even an influential media outlet that wrote, the young master of the Su family was rude and unreasonable. He was jealous of the female doctor he had a crush on. He seriously injured a male doctor in the southern district and almost killed him. Are the laws for us ordinary people or for everyone? Can the descendants of high officials get away with it? This kind of extreme public opinion was very effective. It instantly stirred up the emotions of the masses. Everyone started spreading the news on Weibo and WeChat. Not long after the incident, Su Yu became one of the most searched topics on Weibo. There were hundreds of thousands of comments. Lord Su, come out and explain yourself. It wasn't you, right? Su Yu, I heard you almost killed someone. Is that true? Are all rich second-generation heirs this willful? You didn't even hire an assassin and just did it yourself? Isn't that too exciting? I heard that it's because of Huamin. Is that true? Do you still like that woman? Su Yu, you piece of trash. You think you can do whatever you want just because your grandfather is the chief? I've tolerated you for a long time. This time, you're dead meat. If I don't let you go to jail this time, it's really intolerable. I'm afraid you're the most hedonistic second generation of officials. Your father and grandfather are worried sick about you. You should be more careful, child. Su Yu is quite a nice person. Did he drink too much? Are you trying to cause trouble after drinking? That male doctor is innocent. His wrist was cut for no reason. I heard that fortunately, he was rescued in time. Otherwise, he would have died. It's really scary. Not only did they leave comments under Su Yu's account, they even went to Huamin's Weibo account. They questioned the relationship between the two. Then, they went to Qin Chu's Weibo account. Some netizens with ulterior motives even left comments for Qin Chu. Your wife seems to be having an affair with Su Yu. Otherwise, why would Su Yu almost kill someone for her? You're being cheated on, President Qin. After reading the post, Zhang Manlin smiled slightly. She immediately called Qin Chu. President Qin, what's up? Qin Chu was still cold. Deputy Director just came back to visit Dr. Liu. They talked for a long time. I heard that she went to the municipal bureau. Our finance department said that she left with a few 100,000 yuan in insurance money. Apparently, she's going to bail out Su Yu. Do you know about this? Qin Chu was silent after hearing this. President Qin, people are saying that the deputy director and Su Yu are having an affair. I don't think it's true. After all, our deputy director is such a nice person, Zhang Manlin said deliberately. Chapter 26:15. You sure know a lot. Qin Chu's tone was cold. It was obvious that there was more to his words than met the eye. Ah, the whole city knows about it now. Plus, the entire hospital knows that our vice director came back to visit Lu Zhe. Really, a lot of nurses saw it. They said that Dr. Liu looked at our vice director gently. But don't worry, President Qin, the vice director doesn't like Dr. Liu because I heard. Ah, look at my mouth, seriously. Forget it, I won't say it, in case you think too much. Go on, go on. No, no, no. If I didn't know better, people would think that I was talking bad about our vice director and trying to ruin your relationship. That's not right. Zhang Manlin pretended to be innocent. She perfectly portrayed the word scheming bitch. It's okay, you're in the mood anyway. Tell me, I want to hear what earth-shattering things Mian did at Southside. Qin Chu smiled faintly. To be honest, Qin Chu was a little disappointed that Zhang Manlin was acting like this. Hua Xiqian spent 5 years training her to be his confidant. She shouldn't be so stupid. Qin Chu thought that he would have to wait a while before he could get Zhang Manlin to take the bait. He didn't think that this woman would give herself away so quickly. Plus, Qin Chu thought too highly of her. She really wasn't that capable. She was just a shallow person. If it weren't for the fact that he wanted to get Hua Xiqian to take the bait, he would have shot this disgusting woman to death. Especially when she pretended to be like Huamin and imitated some of the details, it was disgusting. Unfortunately, Zhang Manlin didn't realize it and thought that she did a good job. She even thought that Qin Chu had feelings for her. After all, she was younger than Huamin and more obedient than Huamin. Ahem. If that's the case, then I'll tell you. Don't think too much. Go ahead, it's fine. Qin Chu was nonchalant. Everyone in the hospital said that the vice director came here to help Su Yu. If Dr. Liu didn't sue Su Yu, everything would be fine. But they heard that Dr. Liu didn't agree and left on bad terms with the director. So, compared to Su Yu, our vice director cares more about Su Yu. Plus, everyone said that, at this point, Zhang Manlin deliberately paused. Continue. Qin Chu said coldly. I didn't say that. After all, I haven't been at South Side for long. Some of our old employees said that Su Yu has liked our vice director for many years. If you didn't come back from the States, maybe they would have been together. Plus, Su Yu often goes to South Side and often brings food and other necessities to our vice director. He's just like a husband. He really doesn't care about you. Speaking of which, Su Yu comes from a high-ranking official's family and is very scheming. President Qin, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if you trust our vice director too much, she'll do something that will hurt you. Yeah, you have a point. Qin Chu nodded deliberately. Zhang Manlin was happy to hear that. I know a lot of things. How about this, President Qin, if you have time, let's go to a coffee shop and talk. My relatives in my hometown brought me some wild eggs and wild vegetables. They're pure green and delicious. I'll get some for you. Then, Zhang Manlin waited expectantly for Qin Chu's response. After a while, Qin Chu suddenly asked. Zhang Manlin, do you like me? Chapter 26:16. Zhang Manlin wasn't prepared for such a sudden sentence, and her heart skipped a beat. She felt a little awkward. After all, she had never met a man who asked her so openly. This Qin Chu really didn't play by the rules. President Qin, She wanted to explain. You only want to tell me, yes or no? Qin Chu was aggressive. Yes. In the end, Zhang Manlin decided to give it a try. She wanted to see how Qin Chu would react if she said that. To be honest, when Hua Xiqian gave her the mission, she had seen Qin Chu's photos many times. Although this man was really good-looking, she had always told herself rationally that this was just a mission. She originally planned to leave after the mission was completed. Then, she would take the money Hua Xiqian gave her and go to the plastic surgery hospital to look better. After all, Hua Min's face was pure, but not stunning. Then, she would use the money to buy a car and a house. Then, she would find a rich second-generation heir. Her life would be complete. Unfortunately, things were always different from what she imagined. She had interacted with Qin Chu time and time again. She couldn't help but be attracted to this man. Even when she went home at night, her mind was still filled with Qin Chu's shadow. So, Hua Xiqian saw through her selfishness. Her previous wish also changed. After Hua Xiqian took Hua Min away, she might replace Hua Min and marry into the Qin family. Although she might become the stepmother of the twins, she would still be a young lady sitting on a billion-dollar fortune. Zhang Manlin felt that this was the life of her dreams. She had money, and her husband was handsome. Based on how much Qin Chu doted on Hua Min, he would definitely treat her well. Especially since Hua Min, that useless woman, only gave birth to 2 daughters. She couldn't give birth to a son at all. If she was lucky and gave birth to a boy for Qin Chu, then, the 2 elders of the Qin family would definitely treat her very well. At that time, most of the Qin family's assets would fall into her hands. President Qin, since you asked, I'll be honest with you. I do like you, that's why I want to see you all the time. Of course, you can also think that I'm after your money. I can't help it if you think that way. Zhang Manlin pretended to be an innocent little girl. Qin Chu didn't say anything. I know I shouldn't have done this. After all, you're still married to our vice director. It's wrong of me to like you right now. So, if you didn't ask me, I might never have said it. I just thought that a noble person like you wouldn't fall for an ordinary person like me. It's already my honor to be friends with me. Huo Mian looked at Zhang Manlin and said, "Don't worry. I don't think that way." She couldn't tell what Qin Chu was thinking when he said this. "Then, can we still meet later?" Zhang Manlin asked softly. "I'll pick you up at your place." Then, Qin Chu hung up the phone. Zhang Manlin was overjoyed. She jumped up in joy and walked around the room 3 times. In the end, she hurriedly ran to the wardrobe, thinking about what she should wear that would attract him. In the end, she chose Huo Min's favorite light yellow casual clothes and a black baseball cap. She looked very youthful and beautiful. Imitating Huo Min had become a habit for her. Municipal Public Security Bureau, hello, may I know who you're looking for? The police at the door stopped Huo Min. I'm looking for Gao Ran. How are you related to our director? The police looked Huo Min up and down. Huo Min was about to speak when he saw Gao Ran walk out with a serious expression. Gao Ran. She raised her hand and waved. Gao Ran immediately saw her and walked over. Chapter 26:17. Huo Min, why are you here? Gao Ran was surprised. Gao Ran, I want to see Su Yu. Huo Min was a little anxious. Gao Ran looked around to make sure there was no one around before saying in a low voice, "Come with me." Huo Min nodded and followed Gao Ran into the bureau chief's office. "Take a seat," Gao Ran said. "What do you want to drink?" Gao Ran stood up and asked. "Nothing." Gao Ran, how are you going to deal with this? Huo Min asked. The victim reported the incident and were collecting evidence. Do you have any evidence? Yes, a fruit knife with Su Yu's fingerprints on it. He was there when Lu Zhe got into trouble. That's Lu Zhe's house, so it's considered trespassing. A few people from South Side saw it. They're all eyewitnesses. Lu Zhe's injuries are more serious. I heard that his tendons are broken, right? Yeah. Huo Min nodded. So, Lu Zhe's lawyer has asked us to charge Su Yu with intentional injury. Then, what will the consequences be? Huo Min was a little worried. If he's convicted, he'll go to jail. With so much pressure from the public, I'm afraid it won't be easy for the Su family. Lu Zhe looks like a normal doctor, but many of his relatives are in the provincial department. They're not ordinary people either. So, this time, it's going to be really difficult. Su Yu wouldn't do that, Huo Min explained. I know, but it's useless. Even though I'm the bureau chief, I still have to look at the evidence. Then can you let me see Su Yu? Sure, but not for too long. 10 minutes, is that okay? Gao Ran felt a little guilty. After Su Yu's case came out, it was unknown who leaked the news. There were also people who used public opinion and the media to add fuel to the fire. Therefore, as the bureau chief, Gao Ran didn't dare to go overboard. He was afraid that the media would catch him and he wouldn't be able to explain himself. Sure, 10 minutes is enough. By the way, did anyone from the Su family come? Lady Su came and talked to me for a bit. She went back to get a lawyer. Old Master Su and Su Yu's father can't intervene this time. There are so many people watching. Gao Ran said. I understand. How about this? I'll go and see him first. Actually, I'll think of a way. Yes. Under the escort of Gao Ran, Huo Min saw Su Yu in the detention room. In just one night, he had become extremely haggard. Perhaps it was because he hadn't washed his face or shaved, but Su Yu looked much older than usual. Fortunately, he wasn't handcuffed. Because it wasn't a murder case, the situation wasn't that bad. Su Yu sat inside, but he was very calm. The current him was no longer as hot-tempered as before. Especially after the twins were born, he had become a warm man. He was wearing a black and white Dolce & Gabbana shirt and black casual pants. Suyu wasn't as good-looking as Chin Chu, but he was still a dragon among men. He sat there quietly with his eyes closed, which made Huamin's heart ache slightly. After Gao Ran opened the door, he reminded him again, "Huamin, remember, you only have 10 minutes." "I know, don't worry," Huamin promised solemnly. He turned around and opened the door to enter the detention room. "I'm not eating, take it away." Suyu closed his eyes, thinking that the police had come to deliver food again. "There's no food even if you want to eat. I came in a hurry and didn't buy anything good for you." Huamin smiled faintly. Hearing the familiar voice, Suyu opened his eyes in surprise. Chapter 26:18. Mian, yeah, it's me. Why are you here? Suyu didn't expect to see Huamin on the first day of his imprisonment. Huamin was the first person other than his mother to visit him. Tang Chuan and Wei Liao had also come, but Gao Ran didn't give them face. It wasn't that he didn't want to give them face, but there were too many reporters at the door. If he let them go easily, they might write something bad about the police. So, Gao Ran told them to come later, preferably in the middle of the night, and sent Wei Liao and Tang Chuan away. Huamian was lucky. When she arrived, it was dinner time. She didn't care if it was the media or some people with bad intentions. They all went to eat and didn't keep an eye on Huamin, so she had this opportunity. Although she only had 10 minutes of visitation time, she was already satisfied. "Of course I'm here to see you." Huamin sat down across from Suyu. "Seeing you makes me feel better." Suyu smiled slightly, even a little shy. "Okay, let's not talk about this nonsense. Tell me, what happened?" Suyu wanted to say something but stopped. "Suyu, tell me everything, I'll help you out. Trust me." "It's not that I don't trust you, Mian, I just..." Because this matter concerned Huamin, Suyu didn't want to say it, because he was afraid that Huamin would feel burdened. "Don't leave out a single word, I only have 10 minutes. Suyu, please, don't make me worry, okay?" "Mian, you're worried about me?" Suyu looked at Huamin, touched. "Of course, you're my best friend. How can I not be worried? Oh, right, I forgot. You're always willing to do anything for your friends, so you can't just leave me alone. So, what happened last night? Why did you appear at Lu Zhe's house at that time? You didn't make the wound on Lu Zhe's hand, right? What time did you go? How many minutes did you go? What did Lu Zhe say to you when our colleagues from South Side arrived?" Huamin asked a lot of important questions. Suyu hesitated for a moment and finally decided to tell him everything. "Last night, I was drinking with Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Then I received a strange message." Just like that, Su told Huamin about what happened last night. Hearing this, Huamian fell silent and fell into deep thought. "Mian, so I was set up by that Lu Zhe guy, right?" Suyu asked. "Yes, you were set up, and the timing was just right. Less than 5 minutes after you arrived, our people arrived and became witnesses. So, even if I jump into the Yellow River, I won't be able to clear my name." Suyu smiled bitterly, feeling wronged. No matter how good Lu Zhe is, there's still a flaw. I won't let him get away with it. Mian, what I'm curious about is, why did Lu Zhe do this? Was he instructed by Hua Xiqian? Suyu asked. No, if Lu Zhe was working for Hua Xiqian, then his target must be Qin Chu, not you, you're right. Suyu scratched his head, thinking that Huamin had a point. Lord Su, do you really not know Lu Zhe? Think about it, did you know him before? I really don't know him, I swear. Then, do you have any friends who know him? I feel like Lu Zhe hates you, like he has a personal grudge against you, Huamin analyzed slowly. Chapter 26:19. Friend. That shouldn't be the case. I've investigated this person, and there's nothing suspicious about him. Most importantly, I have nothing to do with him. Su Yu looked as if he had been wronged. What about enemies? Think about it, what kind of enemies do you have? Enemies. Then I'm screwed. I have so many enemies that I can't even remember how many there are. Huamin, okay, you win. It's fine. My grandpa won't let anything happen to me. Don't worry. Yeah, even if the worst-case scenario is that you're sentenced to a few years in prison, Lord Su will bail you out for medical treatment and send you abroad for a year or two. You'll be fine once the storm blows over, Huamin said on behalf of him. Su Yu nodded heavily. Smart girl, that's how it is. But I won't allow you to do that. Huamin's face was serious. Then how many years do you want me to go to prison? Su Yu joked. Are you stupid? You didn't do this at all. What you should do is, clear your name, not think about how to reduce the punishment, Huamin said. I know, I want to, but the evidence is conclusive. There are so many witnesses, and there's so much pressure from the public. I think it'll be difficult. Su Yu was a person who could see the situation clearly. He knew that since he had been set up, it was definitely planned and waiting for him to jump into the trap. Therefore, he didn't want to report anything and hoped that he could clear his name. What are you talking about? No matter how difficult it is, you have to clear your name. You didn't do this in the first place, why do you have to take the blame? Huamin was a bit angry. Mian. You've been very busy lately, don't get distracted by me. I'm really fine. I think you should talk to Qin Chu and teach that Zhang Manlin a lesson. You've been too gentle lately, so you're riding on top of everyone. You're a warning to others. As the first lady of a wealthy family, it's normal for people to think about you. It's not strange for Qin Chu to be popular with women. What's strange is that you can't just sit there and do nothing. You have to do something to make them back off. If they don't know what's good for them, just kill them, Su Yu said casually. You're worried about me? You can't even protect yourself, big brother. Huamin was both angry and amused. It's fine. No matter if I'm a clay Buddha or a gold Buddha, I'm a Buddha. That's why I can't change my identity as the eldest grandson of the Su family, Su Yu said proudly. You're so smug. Huamin smiled. Under such circumstances, seeing Huamin sitting across from him and smiling at him, Su Yu felt extremely happy and satisfied. Huamin coming to visit him at a time like this and showing concern for him, even if it was just as a friend, made him extremely touched and happy. In conclusion, he didn't love the wrong person all these years. Why are you looking at me? Huamin noticed that Su Yu didn't say anything and just stared at him, a little distracted. Ahem. It's because I've been stuck here for an entire night and couldn't see a woman. Now I finally understand why those prisoners stare at a woman for so long after they get out of prison, even if it's a female poodle. Ha ha ha. So you're comparing me to a female poodle? Huamin's face darkened. Ahem. I fucking said something wrong again. Damn it, Mian, I didn't mean that. I'm really not talking about you. Su Yu was in such a good mood that he could make a mistake with a joke. How could he make such a mistake? Chapter 26:20. Okay, I'll stop teasing you. Huamin smiled. Then hurry up and leave. The whole city knows about what happened to me, and the media must be waiting at the door. You and Qin Chu have been in enough trouble lately. If those bastards add fuel to the fire and spread rumors, I'm afraid the misunderstanding will become even bigger, Suyu said considerately. Okay, it's about time. I'll be going now. Huamin looked at her watch. 10 minutes were almost up. Mian, will you come and see me again? Suyu was a little worried. What if he really couldn't get out this time, or if he had to be released on bail and be forced to leave? If that happened, it wouldn't be easy for him to see Huamin. Ever since he met her, he had never been away from her for a long time. I won't come here to see you again, Huamin said in all seriousness. Suyu immediately lowered his head in disappointment. Then, he heard Huamin say, because I'll clear your name and let you out. You'll be fine, don't worry. After speaking, Huamin turned around and left. Just like her personality, she was swift and decisive. When Suyu raised his head again, all he saw was a blurry figure. How could he not love a woman like her? She was gentle when she needed to be, and strong when she needed to be. She never had princess syndrome. She was calm, magnanimous, and wise. She was even, willing to do anything for her friends. God didn't give Huamin a face that could topple countries, but other than that, he gave her everything else. Time was the test of a person. As time passed, one's face wouldn't last long. The most beautiful thing would always be a person's shining point. Huamin never bragged, and she rarely boasted. However, this time, she was so determined to clear Suyu's name, so she must have a way. Suyu realized that he didn't know when, but his trust in this woman had reached 100%. When Huamin left the Municipal Public Security Bureau, Gao Ran personally escorted him out to avoid the annoying media. Gao Ran walked Huamin out from the side door. As for Suyu's matter, I will think of a way to resolve it. Huamin said. I know you're friends, and you'll definitely help him. But, Huamin, what happened between you and Qin Chu? Gao Ran seemed to want to know what happened between Qin Chu and Qin Chu. We're fine. Don't worry. The most important thing right now is to deal with Suyu. Let me know if there's any news. Alright. I'm leaving then. Thank you, Gao Ran. Huamin politely said goodbye to Gao Ran and drove away. At a coffee shop in the city, Zhang Manlin wore Huamin's favorite clothes and came to meet Qin Chu. She used a scheming bitch method. When she saw Qin Chu, she smiled brightly. President Qin, you're late by a minute. Was she trying to act cute with Qin Chu? Qin Chu sat across from her expressionlessly. Seeing that Qin Chu didn't respond, she felt a bit awkward. Then, she took out a delicate handbag. Inside are some local specialties I brought for you. They were all grown by my parents in the countryside. They're delicious. Try it. If you like it, I'll bring you more often. Zhang Manlin thought that if she acted cute, Qin Chu would have a better impression of her. Nice earrings. Qin Chu stared at Zhang Manlin and sneered. Ah. My earrings are fake. They're not real. Even if they were real, I wouldn't be able to afford them. Zhang Manlin cursed inwardly. How could she forget to take off the limited edition Dior released last Christmas? Back then, she was shopping and took a liking to one. She took a card from Hua Xiqian and swiped over 30,000 yuan to buy the pair of earrings. Qin Chu suddenly said that her earrings were nice. What did he mean? Did he suspect something? Zhang Manlin felt more and more guilty. Chapter 26-21. Really? Then you're amazing. You can bring out the real feeling in a high-quality imitation. Qin Chu laughed mockingly. It's because it's super similar that it's called a high-quality imitation. Ha! Zhang Manlin laughed to herself. However, she realized that Qin Chu didn't find it funny at all. She was instantly embarrassed. Actually, I've always been curious about something. Qin Chu said. What? I've seen pictures of you when you were young. You look completely different from now. Then, Qin Chu threw a craft paper bag onto the table. There were pictures of Zhang Manlin when she was young. Because she was born in the mountains, there weren't many pictures of her when she was young. Moreover, all of them were extremely ugly and dressed in old-fashioned clothes. Hee, I can make CEO Qin investigate my past. Does that mean you're starting to care about me? Zhang Manlin asked shamelessly. It's not good to change the topic. Don't you want to explain how you look before and now? Even if you look different after you grow up, you can't change all your features, right? Qin Chu said. So, President Qin, are you trying to say that I had plastic surgery? Zhang Manlin was full of confidence because Hua Xiqian had erased all the records of her plastic surgery. The people related to this were either Hua Xiqian's people or were killed by Hua Xiqian. Therefore, Zhang Manlin had already thought about it. No matter who asked her, she would deny it and say that she didn't have plastic surgery and that she always looked like this. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Zhang Manlin took a sip of her coffee and smiled. Actually, it's not strange to look alike. There are many celebrities in the entertainment industry who look alike. President Qin, you're experienced and knowledgeable. You shouldn't ask such a boring question. For example, Zhang Yishan and Xiaoyu, Dong Xian and Tong Lia, Wang Luden and Bai Baihe, even Wang Baoqiang and Grey Wolf, Xue Siyuan and Baldi Chang. There are so many. Am I guilty just because I look like your wife? Huh. You're rich and have a big family business. If you really can't stand it, why don't you do me a favor and pay for me to have plastic surgery so that I can change my appearance so that you won't feel sad or something? It's best if you give me more so that I can have plastic surgery to look like Huang Xiaoming's wife. Isn't her face template popular now? Zhang Manlin's tactic of retreating in order to advance was indeed clever, so it sounded quite convincing. It was impossible for Qin Chu to give her money, and it was impossible for her to have plastic surgery. Everyone knew what was going on. I'm just asking a random question, why are you so nervous? Qin Chu took a sip of his coffee. Zhang Manlin was indeed scared. She felt like Qin Chu knew something, but at the same time, he didn't know anything. It was this kind of wandering between knowing and not knowing that was the most annoying thing. I'm not nervous. I'm just a little angry. Why are you rejecting me because of my face? I'm not. If I did, I wouldn't be sitting here drinking coffee, Qin Chu said naturally. So, President Qin, do you like me? Like? Huh. No, I've never liked anyone. Qin Chu sneered. What about your wife? Don't you like our vice director? Zhang Manlin was unconvinced. Qin Chu's lips twitched, but in his heart, he said, of course I don't like Mian, I love her deeply. However, he didn't say this out loud. Instead, he changed the topic and asked, are you close to Lu Zhe? Qin Chu obviously wanted to get information out of her and see if Lu Zhe was on Hua Xiqian's side. Chapter 26-22. Not really. He's a doctor, and I'm just an office accountant. We're not close. President Qin, why do you ask? Because I think you're the first one to know what's going on with Lu Zhe. I thought, you two were friends, Qin Chu said as he looked at her meaningfully. Zhang Manlin immediately understood what he meant and quickly denied it, we're not friends. Dr. Lu is the son of a rich family who just came back from overseas. He drives a limited edition Ferrari. Poor people like me can't get close to him. Ha. Ha. I heard he was your classmate. Since he's our vice director's classmate, you should know him, right? I don't remember. Qin Chu only had one word for Lu Zhe, I don't remember. Lu Zhe had been at second high for half a semester, so everyone had some impression of him. If he said he didn't remember, it could only mean that Mr. Qin didn't even care about him. President Qin, you're really a cold and arrogant president. All the male protagonists in novels are like this. Zhang Manlin looked at Qin Chu shyly. Let me tell you a story, Qin Chu suddenly said. A story? Okay, I'm so lucky to have President Qin tell me a story. Your fans would be so jealous if they found out. Zhang Manlin was overjoyed. Qin Chu ignored her and continued, in ancient times, there was a battle between two generals. One of them found a chess piece and wanted to use him to defeat the other enemy. However, the other enemy was stronger and harder to deal with. The chess piece weighed the strengths of both sides and in the end, he betrayed the general and defeated him together. Huh? What general? Chess piece? I don't understand. Zhang Manlin continued to play dumb. It's nothing. I just wanted to say, sometimes, a wife also needs to be a smart chess piece. A wise man submits to circumstances, and a fine bird chooses a tree to nest in. That chess piece can see that the enemy's strength is above her own, so she didn't live in vain. That's why she was able to choose a side in time. Really? But why do I feel like that chess piece is not loyal to her master? She betrayed her master and didn't have a good ending, Zhang Manlin replied meaningfully. That's because he understood his master. Even if he helped his master kill the enemy, he wouldn't have a good ending. His master is a famous murderous demon. Getting rid of the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness is his favorite thing to do. So, the chess piece thought, since that's the case, why not take a gamble? Won't the new owner get rid of the donkey the moment it outlived its usefulness? Zhang Manlin asked again. He won't. After all, this chess piece looks so much like the general's wife. The general won't lay his hands on her, right? After saying that, Qin Chu smiled faintly. It was rare to see Qin Chu smile so warmly. For a moment, Zhang Manlin was dazed. When she came back to her senses, she said, "It's not easy for a chess piece to make this decision. She really needs to think about it. I think the chess piece will understand." Qin Chu tilted his head and looked out the window as he said word by word. When Zhang Manlin walked out of the coffee shop, she was in a daze. Through this story, she was sure that Qin Chu already knew her identity. So, she was exposed. It was impossible to continue. Now, there were only two choices. She could tell Hua Xiqian that her plan was exposed and ask him to think of another way. Or she could side with Qin Chu and plot against Hua Xiqian. Things had changed too quickly, and Zhang Manlin was caught in a dilemma. At South Hill Manor, "Sis, you're dressed so beautifully. Are you going out?" Little Bean looked at Pudding and asked. "Yeah, I'm going to South Side to visit Dr. Lu," Pudding said seriously. Chapter 26-23. "Hey, sis, I know what you want to do." Little Bean smirked. "So?" Pudding said proudly. "So, how can you leave me out of such a good thing? I want to go with you to visit that Dr. Lu that everyone loves. Also, I want to visit that bitch Zhang Manlin who looks like mommy. It's killing two birds with one stone. It's perfect." Little Bean squinted her eyes, unable to contain her excitement. After being reminded by her, Pudding suddenly had an idea. "Little Bean, I have an idea." "Go ahead, sis." "In order not to waste time on those scumbags, how about we split up?" "You mean, we'll take care of them one by one?" "Yeah. That works, but who are you going to take care of?" Little Bean giggled. "I don't care. It's all the same to me." "Then why don't you leave Zhang Manlin to me?" "Fuck, I've always hated that bitch," Little Bean cursed. "Keep your voice down. If mommy finds out, you're dead." Pudding glanced at her sister. I know. I'm a good girl in front of mommy, okay? Little Bean rolled her eyes. Then it's decided. We'll go to South Side together and split up. After we're done, we'll meet in the car downstairs. Grandpa and Grandma won't let us go out alone, so we need Uncle Lee to send us there. Then, we'll say we're going to visit Auntie Chinjia. Got it? Don't let it slip. If Mommy finds out, she won't let us go. After all, we're just kids in her eyes. Oh, I get it. You don't have to explain so much. I'm not stupid. Let's go. Little Bean was getting impatient. Wait, I'll go get the props. With that, Pudding ran into the room. Props? That's amazing, sis. Little Bean was very excited. She really wanted to see how those two scumbags would be tortured. Little Bean and Pudding both knew that Lu Zhe and Zhang Manlin were not going to let them off the hook. However, the time wasn't right yet, so the adults couldn't make a move yet. Thus, the two little ghosts began to rub their fists and prepare to attack. Of course, the reason why Pudding decided to do all this was because of Lu Zhe's false accusations against Su Yu. Who was Su Yu? Why would he do something so lowly? She just had to act coquettishly with her grandparents and it was settled. Daddy and Mommy were not at home. Pudding and Little Bean lied that they were going to see Chinjia, so they got dressed and went out. The two sisters were dressed very formally today. Both of them were wearing black suits with white shirts inside. They had a black bow and a red skirt underneath. He looked like he was about to attend a party. Uncle Lee, together with his driver and bodyguards, drove the two girls to the Southern District in a Lincoln limousine. On the way, when they passed by a flower shop, Pudding suddenly shouted, "Stop by the side, I want to buy some flowers." You want to buy flowers? Was it necessary? There's no point in wasting money, right? Little Bean tried to persuade her sister. Pudding ignored him. When Pudding came back, she was holding two bouquets. She handed one to Little Bean. When Little Bean saw the flowers, she couldn't help but laugh. Sis, from today onwards, you've successfully replaced Jason Statham as my idol. Don't flatter me, Pudding retorted calmly. Ladies, we're here, Uncle Lee reminded gently. Uncle Lee, just wait for us downstairs. Let the bodyguards follow us. Don't go up with too many people. It'll scare the people from the hospital, Pudding said like a little adult. Chapter 26-24. Yes, Mississippi. We'll do as you say. After Pudding and Little Bean got out of the car, two bodyguards followed them. Lu Zhe was in the ICU on the 3rd floor, while Zhang Manlin worked in the administrative office on the 6th floor. The two sisters took the flowers and said goodbye to each other in the lobby. The ICU on the 3rd floor, Lu Zhe was lying there, recovering. He watched the news on his phone. He didn't expect the pressure from the public to be so great. He wanted to ruin Su Yu's reputation first, then deal with him bit by bit. He didn't expect that one move would put Su Yu in such a difficult situation. Of course, he didn't know that Hua Xiqian was the one behind it. He wanted to create a rift between Qin Chu and Hua Min. He thought that he was lucky to put Su Yu in such a difficult situation. His injury wasn't that serious. Although two of his tendons were broken, he was saved in time and the orthopedic doctors at South Side were very good. After the surgery, he would recover in 3 months. However, the media made a big deal out of it. They said that Su Yu was jealous and caused the genius doctor at South Side to be disabled. What kind of genius doctor was Lu Zhe? He wasn't disabled. However, the public didn't know about this. Lu Zhe proudly scrolled through Weibo on his phone and saw the keyboard warriors criticizing Su Yu angrily. Some even donated money to Lu Zhe. Some even visited him in the hospital. It was a celebrity effect. Lu Zhe's goal was revenge. He approached Huamin from the beginning to deal with Su Yu. "Dr. Lu, someone's here to see you," the nurse said sweetly. "No, I'm not feeling well." Lu Zhe thought it was some fans and pretended to be asleep. "It's not a fan. It's Vice Director Hua's daughter. She's so cute," the nurse said. "Who? Vice Director Hua's daughter?" Lu Zhe asked in disbelief. "Yes, she's Huamin's daughter. I don't know if she's the eldest or the second because they look exactly the same." "How many came?" Lu Zhe was confused. "Only a little girl." "Where's the vice president?" "I don't know. The vice president went out in the afternoon and hasn't returned." "If that's the case, then, let her in." Lu Zhe was curious as to why the vice president's daughter would come to see him, but Lu Zhe thought to himself that a 3 or 4-year-old child wouldn't know anything. She wasn't a threat at all, so he let his guard down. In fact, he really regretted it later. Why did he underestimate this child? How was this a child? Clearly, it had become a spirit. "Uncle Lu Zhe, is that you?" Pudding asked politely. "I am. I'm Huamin's daughter. My name is Qin Zhaozhao, but you can call me Pudding." Pudding introduced herself. "Oh, hello, Pudding." Lu Zhe smiled. A few nurses also came over to watch because the daughter of the deputy director was really too beautiful. Her appearance was like her father's, and her IQ was like her mother's. She was simply perfect. "It's like this. I heard that you had an accident and were sick, so I came to see you. After all, you're my mom's colleague." "Oh, thank you, baby." Lu Zhe continued to smile. "I passed by a flower shop on my way here, so I bought you a bouquet. I heard that flowers are perfect for patients." Then, Pudding took out the bouquet she had been carrying and placed it in Lu Zhe's hand. Lu Zhe's face fell when he saw the bouquet. He felt terrible. Chapter 26-25. Lu Zhe looked at the chrysanthemums in his hands with a heavy heart. But before he could say anything, Pudding continued, "The girl who sold me the flowers said that white chrysanthemums symbolize purity. Uncle Lu Zhe, you're an angel in white, so of course you should be pure. It's just that white is too monotonous, so I added some money and asked the girl to add some yellow. What do you think? Do you like it?" Pudding looked at Lu Zhe innocently. Lu Zhe held the white and yellow chrysanthemums in his hands. He didn't know if he should get angry or not. It was an awkward situation. The few young nurses who were watching from behind also whispered to each other, the vice director's daughter gave Dr. Lu chrysanthemums. Isn't that for a dead person?" "Yeah, it looks scary. But she's still young, so Dr. Lu won't blame her. After all, she's still a kid, so she didn't do it on purpose." That's right. The little girl came to visit you with good intentions." "Yeah, and Dr. Lu is a very easygoing person. He won't get angry over something like this." Lu Zhe didn't get angry anymore after hearing what the nurses said. He was in a difficult position, but his face was still pale. "Uncle Lu, what's wrong? You don't like it?" Pudding asked as she looked at Lu Zhe's pale face. "No, I like it very much." Lu Zhe forced a smile. His smile was uglier than his crying face. "As long as you like it, I'll give you more in the future." Pudding acted like she didn't lack money. Lu Zhe trembled in fear. No. Don't give me more in the future. Uncle Lu, you're a man. You don't like flowers. Isn't it appropriate? Then I'll try to get you a more suitable gift next time, okay? Pudding said. She was already imagining all kinds of urns in her head. "It's okay, baby. You're too polite." I'm an elder, and I haven't given you any gifts. How could I accept yours? It's okay, you're my mommy's good friend. I heard that you always bring supper to my mommy. It's really hard on you. Although, my daddy doesn't like other men getting close to my mommy, your courage is commendable. I still admire you for this. Lu Zhe licked his lips and was slightly startled. Why did he feel that there was something wrong with the kid's words today? However, he couldn't tell what was wrong. Could it be that he was thinking too much? Looking at the 3.5-year-old girl in front of him, her face was adorable and even her eyes were especially innocent. Lu Zhe felt that he was overthinking. What would such a young child know? Baby, your attitude towards me wasn't like this the other day. What's wrong with you today? Lu Zhe asked with a smile. She recalled the last time she delivered supper to Huamin. Coincidentally, she bumped into Qin Chu and his daughter. The attitude of those two little girls was not like this at that time. We had a misunderstanding last time. We thought you were trying to court my mommy, but then. Pudding paused on purpose. Then what? Lu Zhe was curious. Then, when we went home, my daddy scolded us. He said we shouldn't have been so rude to my mommy's colleagues. And my daddy said. Pudding began to sell her story again. What did your daddy say? Lu Zhe pointed at himself, even more curious. Chapter 26-26. My daddy said, Uncle Lu Zhe, you're an adult. How could you do something so stupid? Since you're from a well-off family, how could you destroy someone else's family and be a homewrecker? What's more, everyone knows their own limits. Even a toad wouldn't dream of eating swan meat all day long, right? Lu Zhe was speechless. After Pudding finished speaking, he could more or less tell that this little brat was here to teach him a lesson and go against him. She even compared him to a toad who didn't know his place. Huh? Uncle Lu, why aren't you saying anything? Did my daddy say something wrong? Pudding tilted her head and asked. Yes, what your daddy said, is right. Lu Zhe gritted his teeth and said each word slowly, trying to hold back his anger. So, after Pudding and I heard what daddy said, we felt guilty. We misunderstood Uncle Lu Zhe. We heard that you were hospitalized, so we came to see you. Ah, thank you. Lu Zhe didn't like Pudding. Uncle Lu, does your wound still hurt? Pudding asked. As she spoke, she looked down at Lu Zhe's wrist that was wrapped in white gauze. He just had surgery and was in a cast. He didn't dare to move too much. It doesn't hurt anymore. Lu Zhe forced himself to answer. Pudding turned around. Sis, I'm thirsty. The nurse immediately ran over. What do you want to drink? Water or something else? Can I have Coke? Mommy rarely lets us drink at home. Sis, can you buy me a bottle? Pudding lowered her head and took out 10 yuan from her bag. Hey, you don't have to pay. I'll buy you a drink. Then, the nurse turned around and ran out. In less than a minute, she took out a black bottle of Coke from the vending machine outside and handed it to Pudding. Pudding took a small sip and then suddenly sneezed. The movement was very big. Her body tilted forward, and the cola spilled right onto Lu Zhe's wrist. The gauze on his wound was instantly wet. What are you doing? Lu Zhe was furious. He didn't have time to think and yelled at Pudding. Pudding panicked and reached out her hand to press on Lu Zhe's wound. I'm sorry, Uncle Lu. I didn't do it on purpose. Let me wipe it for you. Although he said he was wiping, he used all the strength in his body every time he pressed. Lu Zhe was in so much pain that he was sweating profusely. Go away, don't touch me. Call the doctor over to change my bandages. Hurry. Lu Zhe roared. The nurse behind her caught Pudding in time, preventing her from being pushed down by Lu Zhe. Dr. Lu, the child didn't do it on purpose. How could you push her? She almost fell. The nurse looked at Lu Zhe angrily. What do you know? This kid did it on purpose. She's evil, Lu Zhe said, pointing at Pudding. Uncle Lu, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to. Pudding's eyes were filled with tears. Get out. Lu Zhe felt a headache coming on when he saw Pudding. The wound was wet from the cola, and it hurt so much that the child pressed on it a few more times. Lu Zhe felt like he was going to faint from the pain. If it weren't for the fact that this child was from Huamin and Qin Chu's family, he wouldn't want to make enemies for himself. He would have slapped the child away to vent his anger. What's wrong with Dr. Lu? Why are you so angry? The nurses at the door were also dumbfounded. Pudding walked to the door and said in a low voice, Sisters, I think Dr. Lu's not only injured in his hand, but he's also mentally ill. I suggest you go to the psychiatry department and find a doctor to take a look at him. Then, Pudding opened the door proudly and left, completing her mission for the day perfectly. On the other hand, Pudding stumbled her way to the finance department. Chapter 26-27. Little girl, who are you looking for? A female colleague asked immediately when she saw a little girl walk in. Little Bean stopped the bodyguard at the door and didn't let him in. There were so many people in the finance department and it wouldn't be dangerous. That bitch Zhang Manlin wouldn't dare to do anything to her in public. Little Bean was about to speak when someone recognized her. Huh? Isn't this the daughter of our vice director? Yeah, you look a lot like the picture. Are you the boss or the second boss? Someone asked. I am. Before Little Bean could say anything, a group of old women surrounded her. Usually, these women in the office were bored out of their minds. It was rare for them to see something interesting, especially a girl like Little Bean who looked like a doll. Don't talk, come and take a picture with us. Oh my God, this girl is so pretty. Our vice director is so handsome. Someone exclaimed. It's because the vice director's husband is so handsome. President Qin is so much better than those male celebrities. Hey, who do you think I am? I don't want to take pictures. I'm here to find someone, okay? Little Bean couldn't take it anymore. These people were simply treating her like a human meat prop, okay? They really thought she was easy to bully. You're the boss, right? I heard that the boss has a vicious mouth. A female colleague continued to gossip. She was also teasing her. Little Bean glanced at the woman and replied. If my sister heard this, you'd be dead. Your sister? So you're Little Bean? The woman laughed in surprise. Then, the women continued to take pictures of Little Bean with their phones. She regretted not telling her sister that she was going to deal with Lu Zhe and let her come here. A place with so many women was scary. Especially these gossipy old women, they were even scarier. Finally, Little Bean decided to change her strategy. She coughed and said loudly, Hello, aunties. I'm here to find an auntie named Zhang Manlin. You're looking for Lin Lin? Someone asked. Yes, Zhang Manlin, Little Bean emphasized. Lin Lin went upstairs to deliver a report. She'll be back soon. Have a seat first. Thank you, auntie. Little Bean politely thanked the woman who carried her to the chair. Did you come with your mommy? Little Bean? No, my mommy doesn't know I'm here. Then how did you get here? Everyone was curious. Oh, my sister and I are here to visit a patient. I heard that there's an auntie named Zhang Manlin here who looks like my mommy, so I came here out of curiosity. Do they really look alike? She asked innocently. Yeah, you'll know when you see her. She does look like her, As soon as the woman finished speaking, Zhang Manlin pushed the door open and walked in. Lin Lin, you're back just in time. There's a kid who wants to see you. A woman patted Zhang Manlin's shoulder and reminded her. Who? Her attitude was a little arrogant, even a little disdainful. It's me. Little Bean jumped down from the chair. Who are you? Zhang Manlin had seen pictures of the twins before, but she couldn't remember them. Recently, she had been thinking about Qin Chu, so she couldn't remember when she saw Little Bean. I'm Little Bean, the daughter of Qin Chu and Huamin. To be exact, I'm their second daughter. Little Bean introduced herself generously. What do you want from me? Zhang Manlin's tone became colder when she heard that she was Huamin's daughter. She didn't have any patience for children. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.